took forever, but now that we're actually here, it felt like it was just yesterday that we were seeing all the hype from the audience, from the players, really pop off in the Copper Box Arena. But now we're jumping into game number 1 to start off the EMEA region within the ALGS Split 2 Year 3 performance here. I'm so excited. I also love the fact that Rain basically touched up on Alliance. I also want to give a quick shout out. I know we talked a little bit about
Rickety
it
Ride.
LAN, but you know, Hockey's is the first non-NA player.
Let's get it.
1,000 ALGS kills of all time. So again, special shout out to Hockey's for that as we dig right now into our first game. I'm so excited to be alongside you, Tiff.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really fun journey. I think
we live, we lit. My bad for being late, man. We were doing the English broadcast for South America. Had to get everything wrapped up with that. Let's fucking go, baby.
So excited to see that journey. Meanwhile, Pioneers on your screen with a little bit of the map view overhand to the right. You can see we may see a contest a little bit later down in Lava City and Big Mod. That's going to be La Cite de France taking on Foot Esports. And
let's
I reached out to Ink, one of the team members at Foot, and talked about kind of bringing in Liffin, like talking about that and how they were going into that contest feeling. And they were kind of like, you know what? We've got this. We are feeling a lot more confident. We are going to play our game and, you know, just that's what we're going to do. But KCP going to hit that ring console.
All right.
Nasty. That IGL, and you know, I've seen Zane on the Valkyrie. It makes sense, right? Freeing them up to be the fragger that they're meant to be. So
I mean,
gonna see
that's
that
kind of the way that
they're
the rest of the. I mean, that's kind of how
it's the
Dell and Nasky work, right?
We're seeing from KCP side of
that's actually what
things.
Nasky said in our interview with him recently.
Performance in playouts where he was popping off. He was wiping out squads as a solo left to right, and even made his way into that final circle. It was insane. But now taking a look at where the circle is going to be pulling, now that we've gotten some scans on the ring consoles, looks like we could potentially see the circle end up in the middle bins. If you know what I'm talking about, Tiff, kind of north side of where the vault room is, you're going to see it between Overlook and by those bins to the left side of where you see currently Bamboo Gun rotating to. We've seen that end up there a few times, and if it's not there, could even pull toward the rocks to the north side of Overlook. So a lot of these teams already getting ahead of the game. You can see Ascend making their way over, and 2R1C already in that early fight, actually rocking the fuse that we were highlighting from Onset's pick.
You know, I'm really excited to see it Drovic on the Caustic. You can see they're actually utilizing a building that's already had a Catalyst reinforced door, and they're just not going to break it. Some teams you'll see come in and they will break all of the doors in a building if they're running a Catalyst because they have the passive ability to go ahead and reinforce that. But making that early rotation in and running the charge rifle to be able to poke for your team is going to be mission critical, especially if you want to rotate quickly and you're still on white shields.
And with their composition, they're one of the few teams rocking the Wraith. We even with those buffs that we've seen from the Wraith, we haven't really been seeing Wraith within a lot of these other legend compositions from a lot of the other teams that we've been able to witness in scrims. Of course, we've also were thinking about the same thing.
Why
with
isn't my toolbar going
Pylon doesn't block the catalyst wall out here, and with lackluster Wraiths playing this move, playing bunker down inside the building with the caustic barrels is definitely the big thing to do here if you're going to predict the circle to be pulling here.
Really interesting Dynasty on your screen. The former
I'll get a scoreboard set up here in a second, chat.
And Mania, they've already made their way over into Overlook. And I really like this positioning here for them. And you saw just recently someone had scanned them. We talk about the perks that certain legends, that recon characters, they have the ability to scan those beacons, which will give you essentially that snapshot you were talking about. But it's going to notify every single team that you were scanned and then thus give up the location of that team. You can see right there. Scanned by survey beacon. You can open up your map and you can say, I got scanned exactly from this position. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword.
How many times do you think these teams are going to get that notification too? When the teams are going to be able to get that scan on who's in the vicinity, where the other
if we're going to see that many teams using that
on the other sides of the map. I like this position that we're seeing from Ascend playing up the low ground.
Ascend still rocking the Crypto Watson.
So many other teams opting to go in a different direction with the Seer, Catalyst, and Valkyrie. Ascend's going to be playing on the low ground.
Coming in.
The EMP is going to be able to farm Kashira's shield out here too. All that extra damage and also extra pressure to force out this team to use way more shield cells when they're lacking in loot. Doesn't look like they got a Loba on the opposing team, which a lot of Final Circle teams like to rock. We've seen it already in playoffs. We've seen it in the past last year too. But a lot of these teams are basically going to have to stay put here for this Final Circle.
Ooh, another utilization of a new thing here in Season 16 that Ascend has in the hands of Lufka is going to be that Nemesis. We didn't really get to talk a whole lot of it, but the addition of that assault rifle, that 4-round burst weapon, is absolutely insane. I know for a fact that every time people are rotating, if you just get caught out into the open for too long and someone's got a Nemesis looking down the sight on you, you are not going to last very long. But just look at this overarching free cam shot. Shout out to our observers for giving us a lay of the land of where a lot of the teams are kind of nesting up. Ascend, I'm really digging the position. I don't think this would be playable if they didn't have the Watson.
That's got to be Loopy on
the
free cam, right?
The fences. That
Loopy's free
allows
cams are disgusting,
to play upstairs of them. But if they were to drop down and maybe take some pop shots, they're not going to be able to nade spam because they do have the interceptor pylon up.
Yeah, and to break down their positioning too, it's a little difficult to get a really reliable catalyst wall underneath where they're at, with so much obstruction to deal with as well. Not really smart move, so good on Ascend to stay.
I wonder how hungry Fire Beavers and Aurora are going to be after not being able to go to land. You can imagine have to be pretty heavy, like pretty like rocking and ready to roll.
From Big Mod, away from Geyser, are going to be meeting them up either in the tunnel caves or off to the left side on the south side of Overlook. Taking a look at Fire Beavers though, I've been really interested to see how Fire Beavers have been doing. I tuned in with you, actually. We were talking about it. It's a Greek's watch party for EMEA streams yesterday, and they looked like they were absolutely on fire. One of the few teams also rocking the Bangalore.
Yeah, it's really tough for them, right? We see a lot of the teams in EMEA starting to play more zone, even Vexed Gaming electing to kind of switch up their play style as well. Well, what does that leave the teams that are hard edge fighters to do, like Fire Beavers, right? You may not run into a whole lot, but Pioneers, they're going to be cornering in the Fire Beavers right now. They are on the hunt, and this is like maybe what we're seeing from Zane, right? You get Nasky being that IGL, knowing that you have an insane fragger to be able to counter on. Well, Fire Beavers, they say, you know what, we're out. Utilization of the Valk, they're going to reposition themselves quite nicely.
I like the thought of Nasky on the catalyst, to be honest.
To go through the tunnels of Skyhook because they know it's not a good idea to continuously go out of the circle north towards the north side of where Survey Camp is. We can expect there to be.
I think it allows him to be able to initiate pushes when he wants to, really dictate the pace of their
can also use that crafting
offensive
table
attack
right there, so that way they can actually get all the extra meds that they need between med kits, the shield bats, of course. That's going to be important. And something that we have to note here too, Tiff, what's in the replicator for today? I always love talking about this. Always my favorite little segment. And what my favorite thing to add into the replicator, because it's just going to cause chaos, the turbocharger and purple barrel stave. I know the mobile respawn isn't here for a weekly rotation just yet. That will be coming in for ALGS Day 2 tomorrow, but we do have the purple bag and purple helmet in that replicator.
Yeah, I think it's a great utilization, right? We saw Fire Beavers as one member of the team only had one med kit coming into this, but if you are going to be aggressive and make your late rotation into zone, you need to make sure that you're going in completely kitted out with the heals that are going to allow you to take on fights and crafting your shields up, because it's just so mission critical. You do not want to go in to that end game, at least like teams like Ascend, where they're playing crypto and have the EMP available to them to kind of farm up their shields. Fire Beavers not going to be able to do that.
Right,
they are going to have to utilize all the damage, and actually they're going to hit the rotation back the way they came from. So we do know that we had seen KCP in that vicinity, but they have already kind of hit their way on to the next team. Team Danish just north of Epicenter, as long as Heroes as well. So, but the real context of the ring is getting into Overlook, Vicky, because that's a challenging one.
Yeah, it is. The circle is going to be pulling towards the north side by the rocks north of Overlook. So this
was something that I was pointing out even during the South American broadcast. Say, like, look how many teams are already, like, not only in this next circle, but they're like, you can tell they're playing where the zone's going to be.
Where Fire Beavers is going to be rotating, at least this squad in particular. And talking about the different legend compositions with the Bangalore, with the Sierra and Valkyrie, Fire Beavers are playing to the strengths right now. Like we highlighted between the Wraith and the Caustic playing bunker down for that final circle positioning at the beginning of the game. Fire Beavers are playing a hard edge comp right now. They can play aggressive, and if they're in a difficult situation, they can take that Valkyrie Skyward dive and Hail Mary that into where they think is going to be safe if none of these other buildings are taken up where they're going to be predicting where that circle is going to be pulling.
Yeah, well, they make their rotation. I had a chance to reach out and speak to Rain on Fire Beavers. He said the team is feeling super well. They've already completed the hardest part of the game. They got their visas, so they are prepped and ready to take on Split 2. And essentially their overarching goal, easy qual to land, top 1 playoffs, top 1 champs. And where does it start? It starts here. And yes, we've kind of
small
been
goals.
Amping
It's
up.
fine.
The fact is no teams have gone down thus far, but it's going to be La Cite de France in that early game engagement inside the tunnels just between Geyser.
Yeah, let's just play out with them playing patiently around the edge. They have the gold rampage, but no thermite. It looks like to charge it up right now. YOLO's going to be backing away, but with the Seer, they're also going to have knowledge if a third party wants to come in right behind them. They get scanned by the beacon to let the team know which of these teams may be fighting or engaging. But the answer here is, with that information being declared, do they want to play this patiently? Do they want to try to engage in this fight? Because that's just a third party waiting to happen.
Ooh, and you've got Vexed on the outskirts, and you know that Tyler and Unlucky are going to essentially be competing to see who can be that regular season kill leader. We know Tyler wants to run it back and kind of get that under their radar as well, but they've really shifted their playstyle to be more rotate early, try to play zone as much as possible. But if you have the opportunity to gatekeep a team like La Cite de France,
you know what I should do?
But Danish
I should
right
honestly
now,
open up and see who's live.
City Pioneers. This is the first time we're going to get to see what Zane and Co can do, but Danish look to have the upper hand with an early knock on a Serdell.
So we can do like an actual watch party.
Though, and booting them
Maybe
out
we'll
of
do
the
that in
train
between
tracks.
games.
Fire Beavers coming in right behind them. Danish now losing out on that one member currently as
Pioneers out early. They're the first one out.
Up real quick here too. Can they get the res in time before the third party moves in?
Yeah, and I think you have to start counting at that point. This is where Catalyst is going to be so mission critical. You can see the Seer Q trying to cancel that res, but it's not going to work. Young Hong Kong taking a lot of damage, but Bavis is actually able to utilize the Dark Veil, the piercing spike, to try and prevent any onslaught and buy his team a bit of time to go ahead and get the heals on. It's not going to be enough. Frick's going down early.
Oh, unfortunate right there too, and they got quartered. Fire Beavers coming out on top with a perfectly timed third party. We did see the gold knockdown shield res come out, so we saw that player get back up with some additional health, but it wasn't enough time here before Fire Beavers were able to wrap around the truck. Now look at this, it's like Christmas at their feet, and now the fourth party is ready to roll in.
Yeah, this is where it's going to be really tough, utilizing those smokes from Bangalore and the Rolling Thunder to try to anchor off that space. They didn't take a lot of damage in that early engagement.
And so now Heroes has Fire Beavers pinned down there.
It is going to be the high ground. Now you've got Heroes sitting on top of them.
They have
and this is where
the ability to wrap around Epicenter.
Oh
my goodness, not like this.
This is kind of a good showing for them. They want to step into Split 2 regular season and get a good, strong start. And with Clemmy grabbing the opening knock, they already want to make sure that they can deny Fire Beavers the access to getting into the next zone.
Yeah, Fire Beavers are really pinched here now.
Also get that gold knockdown just in case, so they could get that quick res. Did look like they also had that gold Evo shield. Yeah, there you go. You see the ping coming in from Clemmy. He's got the Nemesis, but we know that despite this gun being just insane now after it's released for season 16, we know that it eats up a lot of ammo. You can see that. I believe there's only 60.
That's actually a really good point that nobody's talking about.
They're waiting on the edge of that circle.
But if you're hitting your shots, it doesn't really matter. But you know.
But so much fighting is also being done in the mouth of where this vault cave is out in the open of No Name.
I think it's a very valid point. Aimbot in the hands of that R9. A lot of talk about the R9 versus the car versus what SMG is the way to move, but that R9 got a little bit of a buff for season 16, and Aimbot throwing up the Dark Veil. It takes about 5 seconds to get this wall into completion. They're going to be able to isolate the line of sight from any team that is on their right and allow them to move forward into that building. You can see cutting off from Vex, Seer Exhibit going out. A lot of information, but they need to get in there safely.
What they're going to be able to do now with the circle closing in. We take to the skies with the skyward dive. Vex also on the slight high ground right now in the middle of their rotation. The Cite de France are able to get away in time, but they're going to find themselves pinched between two squads here. At least trying to take a little bit of
LCOF
right now, and with the Catalyst tactical as well, you could try to at least try to disrupt some vision before you have to play on the mouth of this tunnel.
I like that you mentioned that Vex having that initial high ground. That wall from Catalyst is only about 8 meters high, so it's really not going to be into effect if a team has such a substantial high ground on view. But Tyler FPS getting the opening knock on to Listen. They should be able to completely clean this up, but they lose out on their IGL Matafe. It gets kind of caught out, and now Unlucky and Tyler are going to have to
are they going to be able to get this done, though?
Oh,
it gets canceled. Arcstar coming in.
Really
oh, bro, Vex is so screwed.
Oh, Oh yeah, everybody sees you. Nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. It's like Apex Legends is a horror game. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to watch out with the Seer ult coming in. Tyler holding onto his own before he gets taken down eventually. But Tappy manages to pop the shield back. He had a Phoenix that would have been great, but I don't think he even had enough time before they were able to melt him down. The Nemesis now coming in as Morningstar is going to clean up that loot.
Ooh, a really good showing thus far from Morningstars, also coming in from those split 2 qualifiers. So excited to see what they bring to the table. Already 2 eliminations for the team thus far, 16 squads remaining. And I feel like we are hitting that kind of chaotic area of this zone. We know it's pulling straight from Overlook more towards the north side.
This is the problem when you got this many teams stuffed in here.
Gauntlet. And when you
3
only
teams
have a
out here.
mountains and the tunnel below to play, just look at Outplayed making that. They're playing the underside. All they have to do is pop up that zip line and they would be able to come behind them and just kind of unleash them. But the fact is they're just kind of huddled into that corner trying to go ahead and get reset, while Dynasty, the former Rats roster, still kind of playing the other side of the mountain.
This is a dangerous position to be in, though, especially with the circle now closing in less than 3 seconds. They're pinched between 2 squads. I believe I saw Black Market on the backside, so we do have a Loba in the lobby as well. Rocking the alternator with, what, 30 bullets and a...
And they gotta finish this fight quick, though. That storm's starting to close in.
They want to also clean up some KP while they're at it.
It's tough. You're just getting an onslaught of Seer tacticals coming your way, and you need to be able to hold your positioning, but you're going to have to walk through 1 to 3 teams. We always talk about the alternator. Everyone's like, why are they playing that?
Oh, this isn't good.
Dude, the aim is pretty legit. Unfortunately, they're going to run right into Morningstars, and Sorbet last alive for Dynasty, trying to make
he gets the KP, though.
Go ahead and clean up LCDF, but they are going to lose to the Storm, and Morningstars had actually already taken a nice rotation, but
I think they got all 3 of those kills, though, right? So I mean,
falling as well. Can Sivin clutch this up?
Where do you go? I mean, the ring just does so
realistically
much
probably works out for the positive there.
Take a breather behind these rocks. The Bangalore smoke too to give Nisa some extra cover. Seven is also going to need to get some cover himself, but not before he loses out on his Seer teammate. Currently, it's Fire Beavers looking to fry this lobby. They've cleaned up 5 KP with their journey, exiting out of the north side of the map, and they're
who is he aiming at?
They get another knockout while they're out of here too. 11 squads left with Game of Drones knocking down.
2 words, 1 element, 1 animal, Fire Beavers. I am so excited to see what they can bring to this, because they are raining punishment from the high ground. They are just on the outskirts of that next ring, but you can see they're already pinging their next kind of course of action and where they want to play from. You can see Horizon holding kind of the god spot on that rock to the left. Ascend taking up a good bit of space with the ability of Watson just kind of centered in the middle. It's going to be a little challenging, but Fire Beavers is running that really hyper-aggressive composition that is allowing them to essentially just move up and take space, and that bang smoke is keeping them safe as well. So sure, there's a little bit of open area in between them and the rest of the teams, but I think that they should be able to cover that distance with the smokes. I mean, the recharge time is 30 seconds on that tactical, so they should be all right, but look at all the exhibits going up.
Oh my goodness, it looks like a compare contrast table out here too, with the double exhibits. It looked like I saw a respawn beacon out in the open right there too. The missile swarm now moving in. Maestro falling incredibly low right now.
Game sound?
Are trying to engage.
We lost game
sound.
Quick
shield swap. I see a knocked player on the ground here too. They're just trying to do their best to survive inside of this train car.
Start a fight's gonna try and rotate out.
Teams have the slight high ground. Fire Beavers on the other side. Maestro now coming out on top after taking care of 2 members of start a fight between Blast and
I think it's just Maestro, right?
Yeah, see, we had a lot of questions when looking at Maestro Gaming right now, right? Rugby and Sonya coming in from Navi, bringing in
Ascend out
that challenger circuit, and you can see Ascend falls, Outplayed falls.
You're right on somebody!
Currently, Maestro has 3 eliminations, and that's the negative side of the Dark Veil, is the time that it takes to kind of enact that wall, and all the chaos ensuing now. Sonya last alive, going to try to keep
they
that.
didn't get to finish it though.
The trade right there too, but Fire Beavers lose out on 2 members. Let's see if the Reds can come in now, as 9 Impulse is still alive on the brink of the circle. Remember, we also noted that we saw that they were able to pick up a gold knockdown. Not too sure. Yeah, 9 Impulse isn't the one that has it in his hand.
So Heroes is literally just sitting in the
reset here too, and they have the death boxes to reset if they need to with the evil shields. But all right, Heroes literally living their life on the edge. Not too sure how they can get out of this alive, especially with Horizon, rather Phoenix Legacy.
All right, sure.
Low ground with them in their sights, and they're gonna have to take circle damage. It's gonna definitely be difficult for Heroes inside of that cart to get away.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this, you've got Totem on the left, you got Phoenix Lexi in the cart on the right. They do actually play Watson as well. I believe Sabs is the player who is going to be playing that. Recently signed to TSM. We got to see her and hear from her in London. They had her on the desk for a little bit.
Oh, it's
tough! Her, right? She was kind of like, oh, Heroes with the Wraith and that portal for the endgame scenario, going straight for the rooftop.
That might have been enough for the rest of the team, though.
Member of Phoenix Legacy, you're really opening yourself up, throwing out the Seer ult, and here comes an in-by catwall. This is those endgame audio and visual clutters that we were talking about. It's an all-out brawl.
This is what I was expecting, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Can they get the res right now? This is why the Wraith is a particular pick. What a play that we saw with that portal try play.
Yeah, you can't get out of there.
Able to get the res.
Fire Beavers rotating in on the top side into this fight.
Who's feasting like it's an early Thanksgiving
14 kills for Fire Beavers. Yo, they are pissed.
Inside of that bow check before you're forced to make the swap real quick. You got the R9, but you get beamed. Playing off this slight lip of the rock, you know that the two teams are going to be engaging into each other, and Fire Beavers are in a very difficult spot. They're going to be exposing themselves to both of these teams if they're not distracted with one another.
Well, I mean, you look at Phoenix Legacy and you have Heroes on top of them. They're going to collapse into one another as soon as Fire Beaver starts taking shot at Heroes. The thing is, they don't have a lot of ground to play, just this truck and maybe a small rock in front of them if they can even make that manageable. So you're really going to look to Impulse and the ability of those Bangalore smokes to kind of provide you cover. You have Oiran with the R9 and a Digi threat, so it's going to provide a lot of information regardless. But that Caustic ult, that's going to eat you alive.
Caustic's hurt,
now we're down
bro.
to final three.
Final three right now, Phoenix Legacy, Fire Beavers, Totem
Totem by
Esports, and Fire
themselves.
Beavers with the smoke are going to be able to use this opportunity to close in the gap. The same cannot be said about Jazaz, though, currently just trying to reset, but he's getting beamed.
This swing by...
the Digi threat to help elevate him through the Fire Beavers line of sight here, too. They clean up that one last player of Phoenix Legacy, and we got 2 squads left. Fire Beavers down 1 member, but they have the number advantage.
Number advantage, Impulse going in.
Oh, Impulse?
That flat line,
Impulse!
but unfortunately not going to be able to do it. It's Taskmaster, and they are your map 1 winners here. Split
GG's.
starting off with a bang, or a beaver, I should say.
They looked like they were literally on fire. I mean, there's a reason why, Tiff, we were talking about this team in the pregame show. Fire Beavers looked on top during scrims yesterday, and you could tell that they're bringing that confidence after they were able to take game number 1. I also really like the rotation. The option to disengage from KCP could have made them just fall early in that game, but instead they rolled with that momentum with their composition between the legend and the aggressiveness.
Yeah, they kind of realized they didn't have the resources available to that, so hitting that Valk ult to really get that. But I'd be curious. Let's bring back Rain. Let's hear your thoughts on map number 1.
I know y'all are going to be like super surprised by this.
I kind of rushed to go live after the game with a bang or a beaver. I mean, Tiff, that's a question that's hard to answer. I haven't been posed that question before, but I think ultimately, as we get back into analyzing the post game, it was a phenomenal tour de force of skill, and I think that's where we got to bring it back with Vicky and Tiff. Take a little break to kind of analyze where that skill came from. I think it was just Fire Beavers having a lot of quality. I don't know if they were in the best spot. In fact, it looked like they were in the maybe one of the worst spots there in terms of having really not a lot of cover to play from. 2 or 3 teams in front of them, but at the end of the day, they stayed up as a trio, and that made the difference at the very end after a great play from Reply Totem.
Yeah, and not only that, though, but this also was a perfect highlight in the end game to show the difference between having a Catalyst in your Legend comp and having a Bangalore. Yeah, they didn't have much cover to work with, but those smoke grenades came in clutch. It also allowed them to solidify all that KP at the very end. I think by the end of that game, they had like 18 KP to their name, aside from the dub. So OJ Ryan went crazy, but the combination between the Bangalore smoke and the Seer really came through for Fire Beavers right there.
I actually was really surprised too, because typically the rule of thumb in high-level Apex is condition characters like Caustics. If you get them to the final zone, they usually win. But that's the key. That's the issue. It's like in an MMO or in some type of card game, you got to meet all these conditions. Then the card that beats everything comes out. That's what Caustic is supposed to do. And I thought that Caustic Nox canister, that ultimate that came out, was going to force Fire Beavers into a bad spot. It actually almost worked, and it was the difference between maybe 20 to 30 health in terms of that final. But again, we go back to the quality, keeping 3 players alive, nobody going down early, so that it had to be 1, then 2, then 3. That seemed to make the biggest difference, Vicky. But ultimately, I mean, we saw the meta take place. There is a ton of Seers. There is a ton of Catalysts. I think we've kind of gotten an idea of where EMEA is going to put their energy in terms of compositions.
Yeah, let's talk about the legend comps that we weren't expecting to see. I mean, we saw 2R1C earlier on in the game come out with the Fuse, the Wraith, and the Caustic. Didn't really work out the best way for them, but that was very cool to watch. Heroes making that portal play at the very end too with the Wraith, but it did force them to play a lot more patiently. While we take a look at the highlights, Alliance did stick to the Rampart, by the way. We saw them in the end game, but we didn't see them too much in terms of the ability to get all the KP that they may have wanted.
That was really interesting because, you know, Alliance maybe game 2, we'll keep an eye on them a little bit more. Game 1, they did get to 7th place. Was curious how that ended up going, but in that final circle, that box that you saw Fire Beavers playing around that car and that box on the top of the hill, they had just taken down Alliance Hockeys before that in-game started. So we'll see if game 2 offers something else. Vexed, they were on the high ground, really making it a difficult rotation for the Seat de France. You saw they tried to put that catalyst wall to just block some of the high ground, but it was to no avail. Vex ended up dying as well. A lot of these teams, Vicky, traded their lives here just trying to get to the zone.
Yeah, this is a difficult rotation too compared to the squads that you saw, like Fire Beavers actually make their rotation from the north side at one point. Some fighting did happen by the epicenter area, but it was about having that high ground that really elevated these teams without adding in the extra pressure of the circle, closing in behind some of these teams back. Meanwhile, Fire Beavers are like, we're fully kitted. We want to get involved in these fights. They literally have the high ground looking like they're on Pride Rock, overlooking the teams that are running for their lives on the low ground. Maestro also tried to pull up a pretty cheeky catalyst wall play, but unfortunately, again, with the pressure of the circle, they weren't able to get as much done.
I did really like this Wraith pick. You had mentioned it. We saw it here. One of the things that Heroes looked like they were able to take advantage of was a play that only Wraith could have pulled off, getting those immunity frames, going into the void, and obviously putting her teammates in the same position where they wouldn't have had to run out into danger and could just get there. Almost did it, but it would be Fire Beavers who focused them from that rock off the top and then take down Reply Totem to gain the first place position on top of a ton of kills. So great legend display, and obviously a great showcase of teamwork too. But I mean, let's bring it back to the other thing. You talk about how many exhibits there were, Vicky. I thought I was in the Louvre at this point. I mean, it was exhibit on exhibit on exhibit. Seer is here to stay. I don't know if we're ever going to get rid of this legend. I don't know if we want to. It's really fun, but obviously this is something you're going to have to be very, very careful of in Split 2.
Yeah, you know how my thoughts are with Caustic, but I'm gonna have to say Seer has joined him in the Hall of Shame out here. But it's for a reason. You can't knock what works out here, and if it works, you gotta keep taking advantage of it. I also saw at the very end there, Reply Totem, those hipfire shots from Fire Beavers did miss a lot. Would be crazy with how low Taskmaster was if instead of trying to get the knock and finish and trying to get a quick Evo shield swap, they just had diverted their attention from Reply Totem to the last member of Taskmaster on Fire Beavers. If that could have just changed up the game real quick at the end. It was very close. We saw that Taskmaster was very low. But yeah, so much difference between the Seer, the Catalyst, the Bangalore. It's nice to see this diversity that we're seeing, aside from the Catalyst and Seer being the two main characters that we've been seeing with a lot of the other team comps.
Well, of course, game 1 started with a Beaver or a Bang. It was a little bit of both, honestly, with the Bangalore and Fire Beavers taking the win. It certainly is heating up, though, as game 1 is complete. We'll have the results in just a moment when we come back from break and kick off game 2 here in Split 2. Hey. WD Black, the official storage partner of the Apex Legends Global Series. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ALGS. We're here in EMEA, Day 1, Split 2. My name is Randy. I'm joined by Vicky, Kitty. We're about to break down the action here in game number 2. Vicky, I'm excited, you know, ready to cast a little bit, also ready to see how this meta unfolds. I'm just hyped to be a witness of this experience, because you could tell, as all of us back at home are trying to figure out how is this going to play, how are these, you know, skirmishers and the support, like what is going to really, how's it going to shake out? You could tell the players are doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's always exciting to see the change up between what we witness in scrims before we jump into the pro league when the season starts up again, and seeing how they're going to be able to play on the battlefield when it really matters. We're seeing the change up. We see some caustics, we see some raves. We saw one Loba from Outplayed. They were trying to survive on the low ground tunnel by the train tracks where the circle was pulling away from them. But Fire Beavers literally looked like they were on fire. No water insight in the entire map to extinguish
Fire Beavers look really good in that first game. That ain't a lie.
Domination. I think they cleaned up 18 KP aside from the dub, and they looked fantastic.
Well, if you're in California,
I just realized,
because it's been raining nonstop over here for the last couple of days, but nobody was. So let's take a look at that final circle, see how they stayed on fire. Fire Beavers able to max out their value. And it's good when you have a game like this where things could go wrong, things could go right, but it's not even about this circle. This circle represents all the circles that they weren't able to be at in playoffs, Vicky. For those who don't know,
probably
they
5, because that's what it was for South.
With the standings of being one of our number 1 or number 2 seeds, they were a threat, and it was unfortunate them not being able to participate in it. That will change in Split 2. So you can tell with more fire puns, a fire has been lit inside of them to start this split off strong and make that statement. I feel like they did that so well. And Thorfinn, how about this? You know, for Totem, kind of almost making it real difficult for 9 Impulse and Taskmaster, who I don't think they were going to have to deal with this type of pressure at the end.
Yeah,
all right, chat, I'm trying to find this.
I think Thorfinn knew that Taskmaster was literally trying to focus down on that down player, maybe even trying to get a cheeky knockdown shield play and use it against them, but that wasn't going to come out from Fire Beavers right there. And even though you saw Taskmaster was 1, he still
score.
Came out
Remember,
on
whenever you guys tune in for watch parties,
number 1. What's going to change up
if it's a game that's
well, that's interesting as well, because I'm looking at several teams who are taking different approaches.
Get you
not
up to date.
Necessarily what you would consider last season's necessities, and I think that's opened up people's eyes on how to play Apex. And what I'm really talking about are ring characters, ring console characters. Those are now only controller characters. You had mentioned the 4 that get that ability to do so. Caustic actually being one of them. So it's interesting that Reply Totem are rocking that controller, which we haven't seen very often. But when you look at Ascend, right, they're not playing with a controller character. They're playing the Crypto. They're playing the Watson, who is a support character, which we have not dove into very much.
We didn't see. Did we see any Watson on
So they have
APAC last night?
Yes,
I don't think so.
Beacons, scan the
Did we see any today during South America?
But they don't exactly know where that ring is. And Ascend seemed to say,
I think this is the first time we're seeing Watson.
This is just a better play style for us, and we can get what we need from there. And also the banners. We're not really talking about how support players can revive with the banners at the crafting station.
Yeah, the support characters having the Loba, which is what we saw on Outplayed side, the Newcastle, we have the Lifeline and the Gibby from the support players. Having the ability to get your teammates' banner is huge, but how much of that is going to come into play when you think about the late game? That's actually the reason why we started seeing Valkyrie move away from the compositions that some teams were opting to go for, because Valkyrie is great, but in the end game, what can Valkyrie really do? What can that Skyward Dive do other than delay the inevitable, basically put you up in the sky like a firework for other teams to highlight you? And the Missile Storm is fantastic to try to close out some nuts when you know a player is very low, but then you compare it to other legends that we have. You talk about the Crypto, one of the recon characters that we have alongside Seer, Vantage, and Bloodhound. The Crypto being able to also get the scan on that circle, so that way you could see which of the teams are within the area. Maybe teams that have predicted where that next circle was going to be rotating. The Bangalore, another character that we have to talk about, one of the assault characters in that class, and just being able to open up those strong pillboxes to give your team anything that they need, even things that could be in the replicator.
I mean, I feel like Bangalore was already going to be big because of the smoke anyway, still, right?
If I look at support, right, you obviously have the banners that are valuable, and I think everyone, you know, in chat who's been looking kind of theory crafting on this, there's some value there. I'm not sure if it's been tapped because it's
But
kind
how
of
much
like,
value do you get in the pro league on
it's
it?
like insurance, right? If your car breaks down, you have AAA, which is good.
Maybe
but you
for
don't really
early,
want your car to break down in general. So the best use
right?
of this is to never have to use it, which is why I think support characters are like, okay, this is good,
I don't know,
but
man.
I'm not going to force it because ideally we're alive. However, with assault characters, and you could see with Bangalore specifically kind of rocking that, the ability to carry extra ammo and the ability to open the second tier of the assault bins, which give you 4 pieces of smart loot, which help you and knowing what your team needs in terms of, you know, giving you the types of sights that are going to be valuable, types of things and attachments that are going to work for your weapons, but also the fact that it's guaranteed to be rare or above. Plus, maybe you get a digi threat, which is what you need with the Bangalore and in this meta so desperately. I feel like assault for me is kind of that third tier in terms of quality of, you know, value right now in terms of the ALGS. But I don't know, what are your thoughts on kind of the tiers of the skirmisher, the controller, what do you kind of feel are your top 3?
I guess if it's basic at the moment, controller has to be number 1. And I feel like when you take a look at the options that you have there, kind of similar to what we referred to when Raven was talking about the team compositions, as we get to take a look right here for you guys to see a visualizing graph right now. Controller players being Caustic, Watson, Rampart, Catalyst. That's why you're seeing so much Catalyst. You mentioned the Watson pick from a sense point of view. Yeah. That is what
where's Moon at?
As a way to get that next circle information, but it's about getting there.
They say they were hearing a lot of Catalyst. What? What I said? No way.
That crypto drone to get
no
that
way,
information
bro.
without having to overcome it.
I don't believe
the
it.
Drone doing it for you. You can't be safe like that. It's Watson that would have to go up and get that next circle information. Or if you don't have the Watson, it will be the Caustic. Or if you're Alliance's point of view, it would be the Rampart, which I'm still wondering how that's going to work out for Alliance. We didn't see them get much out of it other than them playing very passively, but you don't want to deny your team KP opportunity, which is exactly what Fire Beavers took advantage of. You see the Bangalore, you see the Seer being the recon character, and then you see the opportunity to close in that gap with so many other characters, the Skirmishers, the Valkyrie, to also close in that gap, the Skyward Dive that came through for that team to then reposition around KCP to then go in for a third party. So it really does depend, I feel like, on these teams' strength and the play style that they want to work into, because I do think Ascend is a much more passive team, like we highlighted earlier, but then you take a look at Fire Beavers, and this team is extremely aggressive.
Yeah, I had misspoke earlier about the Watson. I think it's really good to note that she does give Ascend that kind of 3-dimensional element of the scan, of the ring survey beacons, and of course being able to play with, I believe it was.
I think people are picking Assault simply because of Bang, right?
I do know that this is one thing that
Bang is going to always be picked as long as
at a game that we've all kind of
controllers are in the game.
It's a different
not
element,
the class, but
character value, but then also class value. And I think we're seeing that the class value and the character value has always been intermeshed when it comes into an overloaded class value that you felt maybe was a Valkyrie or a Seer that just had seemingly everything going for them at certain periods of time in the meta, that now those things are separate.
Or am I tripping on that?
Those things are different choices, and you have to decide which one is really going to take the cake. The one class that, and this is, just my initial thought, is I would love to see Skirmisher have a little bit of something else. I don't know what it would be, Vicky, but I think there's such value in knowing what the care package is, but maybe there's a way to interact with the care package that's a little bit more favorable, or to guarantee, knowing where it's going to land, something that gives you a little bit of an edge on the care package, because it is a bit of a risk to be able to go for it. And also it's not as, I think guaranteed in terms of some of the other value that some of these classes bring. But it's been so fun seeing all this, and everyone as well watching at home, I'm sure it's been exciting. Let us know in the chat what kind of classes and systems that you've been kind of putting together in terms of your compositions. We are obviously waiting to get some things going for you guys. I know we've been chatting a lot here, but trust me, we're getting our games ready. We are getting the stats ready, the leaderboards.
Dude,
ready.
I'm excited to see all the stats that get put. There's a couple of different people who are doing some stat stuff in the background.
Vicky,
things are about
to be get that match one stats. I mean, to me, the story with Fire Beavers is awesome, but it kind of goes back into EMEA as well. Going from London into the EMEA performances, we saw Alliance do really well. We had these kind of star-studded moments from them. We did end up having teams like Vex, though, that people had high hopes for. People really wanted to see perform. Didn't necessarily perform. It kind of became a little bit more of an APAC North America show at London. So there's a lot to prove, I think, for EMEA.
Yeah, but EMEA didn't have two of their big teams,
and a lot of the captains, the players in
KCP,
EMEA are
like
heading into Split 2 about their region
obviously had a
and making
sub.
sure that they make a big statement at this upcoming LAN.
Well, EMEA didn't lose out on a spot, I believe, here for the next playoff, so they could feel a little comfortable kind of sticking through the gameplay that they had when it comes to the performance within their respective regions. But I think the number one thing teams of all regions are trying to grasp is what is the most effective legend comp right now that could either counter the Catalyst. I know we had some opinions out here coming in from onset looking at the Fuse. We did see a Fuse, though, and, you know, seeing what works better for different playstyles. I know I got to speak to Monsoon, obviously, before we got to see these changes for season 16 back in London, and I was asking his thoughts about some teams that were running less compositions versus
South
other
America.
teams that were trying to run unorthodox compositions. The first team that I could think about during their performance in Split 1 was Aurora. They were running, I believe, a Mad Maggie going down with the Bloodhound at one point.
Bro.
And you know, they were popping off. We didn't get to see that in London, but it was about the topic of conversation of which of these teams are running what things that are different and why. And Monsoon was kind of highlighting why these teams like to run what they feel comfortable with. If you're finding success playing a certain playstyle, you don't have to stick to what is automatically meta. You can stick to what you feel is comfortable. That's why we're seeing some experimentation with either Wraith plays or the Caustic or even the Loba from Outplayed. But how far is that?
I mean, I think Loba is good for teams who are trying to play more.
I don't know, and that's why as we skip ahead, guys, we'll get your
zone,
standings,
right? Which most teams are, but especially like your more central landing teams.
Complete 2 matches. We're just going to jump in to the second.
I can see where you can get some value.
We appreciate your patience. It's time to get it on. Game 2 coming.
I guess the question would become, though, if you're going to do that, do you
extravaganza? And I cannot wait to see. This meta is new. These players have made roster swaps. They have a new vigor to try to prove that they are the best in the world. It all starts today as we see the landings come on down for our squads here as we kick it off.
Super excited to jump into the second game with you, Rain, because we saw the action basically started off pretty slow at the very
Looks like we got a contest going on at Overlook.
Equal trades that we saw going down. It looks like Overlook may get hot pretty quick as well, as Foot who are going to be making their rotation away from Lava City, eventually into the line of sight of Psychbot, Aimbot, you know, by that big mod area, and taking a look at where Circle is going to be taking.
Remind me, chat, do they do the same order the entire split, or they switch it halfway through where we do Storm Point halfway?
Game number 1. Now we're jumping all the way towards the west side of the map between that countdown and landslide area.
I bet she's gonna go up towards Lava Fission Mirage Etoile.
To have just variety, to be able to utilize different rotation options and showcase your composition. Alliance are going to be in a good spot here. Obviously,
we had a Circle and Mirage Etoile in South America.
To pull south towards them.
I think it was actually game 2, wasn't it?
Coming up from behind, but they do have to be careful about reply.
Might have been game 3.
OP as well. KCP also in a pretty nice position with just the back to them, but we start off with a little fight here. Dynasty ESC. Oh, making it sing with the Havoc, but not good enough. A little off tune there. As Sorbin trying to clean up the pieces. Tolkien and him alive as well. Tolkien on a blue. That's big time in these early
someone hit him with an Echo.
That extra 25 health is huge. Not a lot of bullets in the Eve 8. Has to make these 6 shots count.
Yeah, you moving around that side of the rock, he gets it. You were talking about it. You need to make that impact with the Eva A, a strong weapon to hold.
Are we watching the same?
Stack, also blocking that site. He's trying to go for
I don't think we're watching what our sound is, chat.
Game of drones on the high ground right now, but they're playing off that little slight catalyst area.
Because he's got the Havoc, and that has that uptime, so you got to make sure to use it. He'll have a swap 2 off his teammate. It's really good movement. This should be George's game.
There it is.
He's going to finish it off here. So beautiful. The last bullet takes him down. Game of drones. Live to play again. Nice 1v1 there. Big challenge for this team.
Is there a bunch of the
they'll be able to do a little bit of work and get back up as a
streamers streaming?
Man, let's talk about those piercing spikes, though. Ooh. Clearing up not only just space, but also technically denying the high ground opportunity, trying to mix things up right there. Beautiful. You also saw the immediate swap up to the wingman, just in case that last bullet of the Havoc didn't do it. Now we get to take a look at the teams already, predicting where this final circle is going to be moving, or maybe even deny the rotation from some of our other teams. If this circle continuously pulls more towards the west side, towards Mirage Etoile or Lava Fisher out here, a send drop from the under part of that bridge after seeing that there's already another team trying to block their position. And then there's another Crypto in the lobby monitoring where Ascend wants to rotate, and they are playing off that slight low ground, probably in the line of sight of the squad that lands in Mirage Etoile or Lava Fisher.
Ascend here, 5 points already. sitting on it. KCP as well. They've stayed where
I
they
kind of
landed, so
want
they'll
to
have a
do
chance
more
to
of
fight
the
right in front of them.
pull-up
Start a
tabs.
fight
I think we're going to do that after
right
this
in front
game,
of them
chat.
as well. So synergy in
my
both the
bad.
name and the
I'm on the
situation.
struggle bus today.
All on blues. Nasky, Dell, and Zane. A lot of people.
I think I would prefer to do that way.
The chat and throughout some of the comments around these roster swaps, very happy for Zane to get the big call up. Obviously playing with Jay Lings and having that pop-off moment at LAN that just, I think people's jaws didn't get off the floor, Vicky, when that happened for about 5 minutes. It was what an incredible intro for a player. Now he's found his way onto one of the most premier teams in the EMEA region, but who have also had so many challenges. As Zane, as we speak of them, takes down Willem with the charge rifle in the air.
We know that feeling with the charge rifle, not only being able to boost up your Evo shield pretty easily, but now losing out on your Valkyrie while you take to the skies is not the way they want to play off this low ground. They're in the line of sight of the other team now, making the rotation away from Raj. It's Ascend.
Ascend moving in.
Just in the middle of getting on top of this little high ground right now. They take care of Outplayed, and now their game plan just completely fumbled right between their fingers. They know that they wanted to go in.
It's very interesting to see Ascend. I wonder if this is just more comfort,
with a
or do they feel like
and that just completely was denied with Ascend.
This gives them
of that team.
Tough stuff there.
Man,
They will
like,
have
you
to
know
go
what I
back
mean?
again and try it in game 3. Running out of time here on World's Edge. How fast it can happen is amazing. But Zane contributing to that.
Because we dead ass. I don't think seen any other Watsons.
KP, but he will be happy that at least another team is out. They're closer to that win. I know KCP is wanting to. Back to their story a little bit, Vicky.
Bro, what am I listening
to? Getting Max Strafey to land, that has been a big issue for this team. Nasky, we know he's one of the biggest personalities in Apex, but now having a full three, they know can be at land. This has got to give them some hope.
By the way, we've had a interview with
every game
Nasky
now
that dropped
matters
this
even
week.
more than it had before.
Nasky's such a passionate
awesome
IGL
dude,
too.
man.
I was talking about it a little bit at LAN where there wasn't a moment where I hadn't seen Nasky so happy to be playing with not just his teammates, but his friends. You know, this is a team that really vibes together. He even said when they picked up Zane that he could have imagined playing with anybody else out here when it comes to the frag-heavy talent that Zane could really bring to this team. They already rocked basically other events together and they were feeling each other. But after that performance, Nasky was the most emotional I probably have ever seen him, and he knew that he wanted to come back and make a difference for the second split.
Bro, Niceway's got 11,000 people watching with him. He's almost has as many people watching with him as the main broadcast. That's insane.
Angler smoke coming out too to block out their line of sight.
Nasky trying to make something happen with a 30-30. Oh, that's going to be
nice
easy.
shots
Fritz
there
on the Fritz. Start a fight, getting involved in that one as well. Pioneers ain't moving. They know it's a lava fissure ending, so they're just going to stand there. Nasky with a couple of cracks.
Nasky got a nice little angle. He gets to back down here now.
Satisfied with that and head back to his squad as he pops that final shield cell and gets up to the purple, which is everybody's goal right now. Dell 72 damage away. Zane probably something similar if you had to bet on it. And so they will be just sitting tight as they don't have anyone to their back. They do have some to their south though, and that is something to be careful of. Alliance making their way up north from Thermal to try to get here as it becomes very clear where this is. And if we go back to the map, I just kind of wanted to illustrate this point I was talking about with the class system. You have these survey beacon scans, right? And so let's say Fire Beavers, let's say Foot Nuff, right?
Oh, I forgot we could also technically use
a ring character.
the command center.
They get a scan. They look at all these people over there in Lava Fisher. They go, hey, that's where the circle is going to end. Let alone a lot of pros, Vicky, they already know how to predict these things. So the survey beacon, while I thought might have been more of an aggressive value, it's truly a huge value in terms of IGLing your teams. Because now Foot, they might know Vex is there to the left. Let's take this route to the right of Harvester and cut through staging instead of going the thermal station route, which is a little closest. So I'm starting to see it have a ton of value, specifically for in-game leaders to make great calls on these rotations, maybe even more than the ring console.
Yeah, and taking their time.
Yeah,
too,
but I guess the problem becomes though is then you have to make sure.
Huddle not only around
I don't know, man. I think I have to disagree with that.
Probably by outplayed before they rotated out of there, but also by the team.
Because the people know where you're going to be rotating from.
The replicator, if they need anything extra,
right?
If they have a Havoc or a Devo, they could just use that turbocharger that they crafted.
It's only if you can get the scan.
Rotation. Even extra meds out here as a send.
You can say the same thing about your
control over Mirage's crew.
Scan characters.
We're all out here for the party. I'm so glad Mirage Etoile is back. This is where I learned how to duke it out with so many other players in Apex Legends. And Ascend are playing King of the Hill right here, not only farming their Evil Shield, but they have a lot of loot to work with after they took out that previous team.
All right, Ascend here, obviously feeling comfortable. This is a team that loves to play zone. One of the main criticisms of Ascend, if you were gonna
just
have
vibing,
one,
bro,
is that they maybe aren't as lethal as they could be in these final circles. It came down to haunt them when they faced off at TSM for that match point final to hoist that trophy. Kashira had wanted to do it so badly for his family, his father, his mother, who were in the stands. It was one of our just most emotional and incredible journeys of a player and a support system, but they'll have a chance again, Split 2, if they can get there. And they certainly dominated Split 2 in the online side. So more from Ascend as we finally follow along with Vexed here. We're running Seer, Catalyst, and Bangalore, opting away from the Valkyrie. How do you feel about this, Vic?
I feel like right now with the way that Vex is playing this area, they're just trying to play on the edge of all the chaos that's going to be happening in that next circle. You can see it right there on the mini map where it's going to be pulling towards Lava Fissure. But with some of these early rotations, this could set up Vex to be pinched between the team that's already in Landslide and then even the likes of Ascend if they make the rotation away from Mirage Voyage towards the north side underneath the train tracks. They're already going in from the other side though. They're not wasting any time to play off the south side of Countdown, which I do like this move here because they can make sure that their backs are cleared once this next circle closes in with 18 squads left.
Well, Vex Gaming, they have had so many fans, and in fact, during the Copper Box, I know a lot of you in chat were.
Had an unfortunate
section getting hype. They were rooting for these gentlemen right here.
Early out last time around, so they're in next ring here, so that's going to be really good for Vex. Big positioning actually where they're at.
Sponsored by WD Black.
I'm watching right now.
They're crossing on the left. They might want to fight us.
Okay.
Thank him.
What armor did he have? Can you cut them?
Blue. You guys
Okay,
blue.
can I maybe walk up?
I'll try one thing, chat, real
let's
quick.
see where they are
Sorry.
now. If they're here, we can look blue, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're there. They're playing that.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Purple and double blue. Bang guys, purple.
And I walk up.
I'll cult on our east. Hold on a second.
Go up, kid. I'm backing all the way.
All cult went into this choke, I think.
I say we go there.
Okay.
All right.
I'm making the middle doors ours if you maybe have to reset.
Yeah.
I think they are, yeah. The land choke. Oh, not like though. A bit more back end though, not like inside choke. I think like somewhere here.
He's gonna pull like.
We knew this one already.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not. I mean, we low-key could like. I mean, they're not in the next zone. They have to play ramp. When they have to play ramp, like,
wait this zone and then we bangle them and kill them on the ramp.
Yeah.
We have to watch somebody like
One
moving
guy's
that
playing
shit.
bridge. They're playing bridge right now. There are two of them.
With my eyes.
Okay.
They smoked me off on the window. I can't see.
Yeah, they're just trying to like get goos on me and shit, and they're shooting towards me right now.
I can peek here if needed though. Then. Also.
I just read the goo.
Just keep smoking me.
So they do got the purple gold here.
Just
I got
saying,
sick, kid. They might. I'm in skidoo.
I am watching east. I'm in the
Okay,
window.
you're
I'm
watching
watching
east?
east.
Okay.
Yeah, front of the window. There are 3 men on the bridge right now.
Okay.
If I see them drop down, I'm calling you and you're immediately taking bridge. Yeah, Tyler?
Yeah. No.
They smoked me again. I can't see. Careful. Second one. They smoked me again. I can't see. Careful.
I just see him on bridge. Yeah, they're walking up.
Good communications. They know that team has smoked and was trying to use that as a way to push up.
Meet you.
Tyler's gonna have to fall away from this door, but it looks like they're just rotating all the way away,
I threw a nade.
which is honestly a smart play.
I'm trying to swing.
All 3.
I'm safe.
Vex is gonna run him down though.
I'm falling.
Watch out. I killed you both. I cracked one, okay?
They're running in.
They're not. Betting.
Crack one, crack two.
Nice. Thank
Dark Veil to try and buy a little bit of space.
Popping about.
Good. Heal.
you. Back. They're good.
Just spraying through the Dark Veil, spraying and praying to get some hits.
Watching back, looking back. Don't see anyone right now.
I'm crack one blue.
I'm crossing over to
I'm
the
nading corner.
left side.
I got smoked off, okay?
Yeah.
You can try to get assist, can all of
We
them?
need to get more cues on the door.
Yeah.
Fine. I think they're trying to look doors again.
Yeah, I'm swinging this on me. Might be able to get some damage in.
Yeah, do it. I'm coming door.
Yeah, let's 36.
I'm waiting for the smoke to run out. But there's a team behind us, team east.
Okay.
Thanks. Bang 100.
Oh, dude, don't.
They're down here on my ping. They're just rotating.
Okay.
Bang 100. Bang 150. Bang 180.
Oh.
Don't forget about this team. Don't
Get
forget about the
the
other team.
literally corner.
Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Just push this guy.
Up.
Yeah, this team walled. Take a zip up, take a zip.
Yeah, it's fine.
Correct. Fake flash.
From distance, Tyler, really?
I'm just taking them. They smoke.
You're just that good, my guy?
They force it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching door. I'm
Left
watching
side.
double door. I'm watching double door.
We're gonna have another team on bridge now, I think. So careful.
Okay.
They might help us kill them if we like focus them on the left side.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just sat there. They're just sat there. You want my helmet? Take a helmet.
Yeah.
Dropping helmet.
No.
They just stop my shit. I'm popping out of
I'm 2-8. I'm 2-8.
Yeah. I'm just scanning your back now. We need to. I'm gonna play with Unlucky from the left side a little bit.
Yeah.
Vex Gaming in the middle of it. Vicky trying to stay alive here. You can tell the tense energy is rising in the lobby as Fire Beavers now in a little bit of a something with foot. Lippin, Taylor trying to make it through the chokehold. What can they do against the team that won game one, not trying to let them through?
Yeah, that was Morning Stars that Vex was actually fighting originally, and with Foot playing against Fire Beavers right to the south of Countdown, they could actually get involved from a distance. Alliance get taken out in your feed. So does Reply Totem. Ascend cleaning up a lot of the lobby while they exit out of Mirage Voyage there, playing up that low ground, but Foot also some trouble. Just Taylor having to reset real quick, but look at the amount of vision just being disrupted. If it isn't the Catalyst wall, if it isn't the spikes, it's got to be the Bangalore smokes coming in from Lifen as well.
Shots from Noth on the car. R99 is taking over the ranking SMG #1 spot, but the car can still get the job done, especially in the hands of Noth. Isn't enough. Have to play behind. Both shields should be over, and it certainly is. Ethereal comes in at the right time and cleans that one up as 9 Impulse and Fire Beavers with 35 points already. My goodness. Are still alive, but not very healthy. It's going to be up to Vex Gaming to clean this one up. And Tyler's gonna have to buy some time. It's all on Unlucky. And Unlucky gets the kill. But getting at the other one, there's another poke away. This endless fight is not stopping. There should be swaps though. And
yeah, the only tough part is that's Mitso.
Oh, Fire Beavers finally get eliminated. They had tried to get out of that fight before Maestro says, all right, now's our chance. We're going to be moving in for the 5th party. If the 4th party wasn't enough, they get to come out with such amazing loot too.
Ain't no party like a 3rd party.
As quickly as possible while making the rotations back towards the train track before another team has the opportunity to take up this space. The Skyward Dive now coming into the air. Believe that could be Ascend if they're rotating from the low gun right there. It is Ascend right now. It's Luca coming in with the Skyward Dive. He falls so low. He manages to get inside. Are you kidding me?
They have this building? There's no one in this building right now? Are you kidding me? How did Ascend land that obviously into one of the best spots for their team composition? The whole lobby's going to be shaking their head on this one. Ascend have just found what could be considered God spot in some ways, especially with a Watson deterring people from coming inside. That will look good for them. I imagine KCP could still be where they were before. Maestro Gaming, they fought tooth and nail to get here. And they have found a little bit of safety in that underneath side of the bridge. They'll be able to play this for a while, especially with the Catalyst on Sanya. Being able to piercing.
Sorry, Jay, I'm trying to start setting things up for next game here.
Just getting into such a good
before
spot
things start really popping off.
You can see, even though Valkyrie doesn't scan the ring anymore, she still brings so much value in terms of late rotations.
Their rotations in general have just always been so on point. If it isn't early in the game, it could even be in the late part of the game. With 10 squads left right now, Maestro Gaming playing on the low side after they made their rotation outside of not just getting involved in the 5th party to the south of Countdown, but also making the rotation on this underneath part of the building where so many other teams are already neighboring them. Look at where the circle is going to be pulling to. KCP?
Yeah.
They called this from the very beginning. They have not.
Dude, that's just, I mean, part of that's just
other teams making the rotation from the north side of the map. They have not left here, and now they can face down against Ascend, who's not in that next circle, and they could easily get pinched by other teams that are going to be forced to rotate by that next circle towards the north.
Maniac.
It's going to be a big play because Ascend have 2 options here. You fight KCP right away. You hit him with the EMP. You push inside. Can KCP handle it? You get God spot if you can win that fight. Otherwise, you're out of zone and you try to play passively, and then you risk getting shot by multiple other teams if you try to do a wide swing, or just KCP not getting aggressed on and having the freedom to shoot you from the safety of a building. So I think Ascend are better off trying to go for it. And maybe go for it in a little bit of an awkward time when maybe KCP isn't expecting a full push, Vicky. But again, will they do it? That's the big question. Heroes, very fine. Just having a reinforced door barricaded up thanks to the Catalyst. Ready to shoot in case there is an opportunity to do so. Ascend here I think they have tried to go for it, and I think they have taken maybe the bottom floor here. Grenades coming in. It might be Ascend versus KCP. This is the fight I was talking about here, but KCP seem to be winning.
Dude,
it.
KCP just mobbing on him right now.
And Boskill are also down, and it is KCP who say, get out of here.
Not today.
Evicted, and that was perfect knowledge from them, knowing that there was no watch and Jen for them to play off of. The bombardment of grenades, while Heroes is also melting down another team from right to their south. Vex Gaming get taken out of the lobby. 7 squads left, and Heroes have the high ground on top of this roof.
Love KCP being able to take on the biggest challenge possibly and do it in style. Get back and hold the greatest place to play from. But Heroes now on the high ground, looking to hit a couple PK shots. Use that Babylon's great dimensional rift. They've got a truck. They've got a little bit of mobility. They've now lost one though. Heroes gonna have to make some plays. 9 points to their name. They take the portal right back as Pioneers start to get aggressive.
Come on,
this team
KCP.
shouldn't be too much of a threat. Pioneers just have to hold this high ground. This could be their game, Vicky.
I was sitting on the edge of my seat right there. I was expecting an insane play. Maybe they wanted to go right back in, but they were booted out of that area as KCP take on another fight, come out on top. They also earlier had knocked Hyrika, but 2R1C is still alive. I believe Uchako is still alive somewhere. So is Maestro. Look at this. Sonya is still alive here too. A startup fight are on the high ground. Where can they go? They could try to take a skyward dive, which would be incredibly risky, but you know that the Valkyrie gets probed up just a little bit above that pillbox. Let's see where they can go while the spikes now come in from the
Only problem for
catalyst.
startup fight is they can't look right across because they got
Really
KCP
do
looking at them.
Love the way the KCP have decided to take this game and make it theirs. They could have sat in the building. In fact, they did. But to go and switch into the aggressiveness at the right time again and again, this is showing like KCP might be the team that people think they are, with Zane included, adding that fragger, adding the core of Dell and of Nasky. Could this be KCP's
I mean, it's a lot of
time?
stress to constantly
Certainly
be
looks
looking
like it in game
for
number 2 here. Maestro, Sonya, Rugby, and Tax.
subs, right? Like,
down below, Nasky trying to get involved and pick up some KP as well. Every point matters. Danish also alive. It is the final 3. It is Danish, Maestro, and KCP. KCP on the high ground. I'm not sure there's much they can do, Vicky, to get away from this. It's going to be up to Pioneers just to try to make it. And you can tell Zane, he's chilling.
oh my goodness,
he gets 2
Zane.
kills off of it.
Jeez,
Zane's
not like
stressed
this.
At all. This is just KCP putting
Bro,
on a clinic here.
why you gotta
And
do
they're
him
gonna
like
take
that,
game 2.
Zane?
Belongs to the Pioneers.
Oh, and with ease there too. They had the God spot on the high ground the whole time. I mean, at the very end, really, what could the remaining teams do? I believe Maestro still had Tax alive till the very end, and they could have tried to fly out of there, but no horizon in sight. That was all KCP to eat and have fun with.
What a moment. And Tiff, welcome back. Watching from the sidelines, what an exciting in-game,
Man.
but what a performance from KCP there to close it out.
I mean, that was the teamwork that we were wanting to see. I spoke to Nasque heading into this, and he was talking about how him and Dell have the ability to work around other thirds and easily adapt. And I don't know if that's history of them bringing in subs for LAN, and they were really excited working with Zane. Being
It's
able to
partly,
say that process was
mostly,
moving
yeah.
along very nicely. And I mean, come on.
He works
Map
as like a
number 2,
secondary
they've already got
fragger.
victory.
Dell works as like a
Zane
secondary
emoted on
anchor, and
them
they just
before
let their
dropping down
fragger
to
just
finish it
do
off.
work,
I
bro.
mean, the confidence is there.
I love that point you just made too. Vicky, what are your thoughts? Nasky and Dell have probably had to play with a sub as a duo more than any other professional squad in the ALGS. That does bode well for immediately doing well with Zane.
Yeah, when I got to see them perform with Verhos, I believe it was Rewired Fest back in October, I said the same thing to Nasky, and they're like, you know, we got it. And Nasky even said that they changed things up, and basically they're like professional diddles that like to work around their third. They let Verhos take the IGL role, and Nasky says, you know what, if he's cooking, let him cook.
Yep.
And they basically work so well around these thirds that you could see now.
That honestly also says a lot, I think, about
Nasky
Nasky to be able to sit back in that role.
After taking that dub, I can't wait
As
to
someone
see how
who
it's gonna
normally
shake
is
up
very
the
much
overall leaderboards.
hands-on
All right,
in
let's take a
that,
look
like,
at the confirmation of the results for match number 1.
You know
we
what I
finally
mean?
have those for you. Thank you so much for your patience as well. 30 points for Fire Beavers. Big time stuff from them. And also Reply Totem doing what they need to do, getting 9 placement points, but a nice couple of kills at the end. Phoenix Legacy just a few points behind. Alliance Heroes taking out our top 5. As we head to our bottom 10 as well, this is, of course, game 1. We just finished game 2, so we've got those stats coming in as well. There's Pioneers at the bottom. So, Tiff, they're going to have a very different result here in game 2 compared to what happened in game 1 for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something to look at. Maybe
update our
they
scoreboard
had made
here.
a small error on their rotations. We saw at one point they were pushing the Fire Beavers in the tunnel just on the outskirts of Epicenter to the left in Survey Camp. But you think about map number 2, that zone really favored them. They kind of switched up their landing point. They claimed Lava Fissure and Mirage Etoile.
Oh, it's not updated all the way yet. Never mind.
The fact is, they had the power of their drop spot POI being that end game, and they're very familiar with that POI.
They're putting
so
everything in.
That had a good lay of the land for them. You saw just how they were able to navigate. They knew where they needed to play
I think will be in second. I don't think they'll have enough to overtake.
You saw even the
Fire Beavers. Yeah, no.
To utilize the
Fire
piercing
Beavers
spikes.
did
We know just
did a
how
couple
far they can shoot,
kills.
and they were really punishing
All right, here we go. Now we got
inside
it.
that center dome.
It's not always easy,
Updated
Vicky,
scoreboard
to win
chat.
the games you should win. I mean, this is a BR. RNG happens a lot. But KCP were favored in that one. They landed exactly almost where that game ended. So maybe that's the difference too. Having to go to the, the east side and being able to stay on the west where they're landing in World's Edge, clearly that had an impact in their success late game.
Also trying to negate any sort of pressure from the bullies that wanted to take control over their building. Thinking about the play that we saw from Ascend, who didn't have the Watson gen at the very end. That also gave information to KCP to know, well, we could just barrage them with grenades if they don't have the Watson gen. And once they got the cracks, they just fully sent it in at that point. It was an unfortunate situation for Ascend. I believe the Watson gen was at 80% before it was able to come online, if I could recall correctly there. And with that rotation, Ascend had no choice too. They needed to try to boot them or at least share that same building, but KCP took full advantage of the fighting happening to their north side to then be able to focus their attention on Ascend, since they knew that no other team was going to try to focus taking their building as a third party.
Well, Tiff, you just joined us. First map was on the east side. Now we went to the west side. I'm on the east bank. I'm on the west bank. Shout out to Mel Brooks. Also, talk to me a little bit about what we saw here in game 2.
I just love the utilization of Catalyst Tactical to really force your teammates off a specific positioning. And then you saw it right there with that initial fight with Dynasty, my apologies, that former Rats roster, just throwing it on there so you know that the other team can't climb up there. So it's just the way you utilize those abilities. Now, I mean, Alliance over there saying it's not the abilities, it's not the legend, it's the talent that you can see. But Pioneers clearly had that talent from the start, not having to move from Lava Fissure. But I was talking about Vexed, right? Vexed has been making some moves here, and it was really good to see them kind of move into the POI, start kind of forcing themselves into that zone play a little bit early. Now, granted, I think it's going to take them a little bit to kind of get up to speed and really show what they're made of here, but it's a good start. They went ahead and switched up their drop spots. They were landing staging, which kind of forced them into Alliance a lot. And
can I sign into my
to help with that zone push here?
And Vicky, things just heated up as well. This is kind of the start of the chaos, right?
Yeah, this is where we saw not just third, fourth parties come in, but the fifth party at the very end too. We try to see the reset from Fire Beavers, but they could only go so far when there was.
I'm gonna switch this to Nice Wig for now.
Rotating away from Thermal, or rather Lava Fissure over to the other side. Pioneers here though took advantage of Ascend not having that Watson gen and cleared out that building before a fourth party or third party could roll in.
Isn't it with the underscore, or am I tripping? It's not with an underscore. I am actually tripping.
Take the low ground. It wouldn't be enough though. Up there, you can see the likes of KCP, Zane. Even took a second to take a rest. Little emote on a Valkyrie flying in and help clean it up as they wide swung.
Do a little some. Oh no. Okay, so hold on.
Made 0-point game into a big win. What will it be? We'll find out in just a moment. But kind of going deeper into that final circle, was there anything that could have been done? I mean, KCP obviously in a great spot, but Tiff, is there any way around it the way that they were playing?
So, okay, you can already look to see where the cat wall is. You see the piercing spikes that KCP is utilizing, coupled with the missile swarms from the Valk to really punish, start a fight, and keep them inside. And you've already got Maestro Gaming on the low ground. Their Valk gets knocked early on. They don't have a Horizon or a Legend that's going to be able to bring them up from the low to high ground. So they're kind of just stuck down there in a sense. And you can see right here, they find a lot of success, but when Tax goes down early, that really punishes them because their only ability to get down Startify knows they're not going to be able to get over the challenge KCP. So what do? They play for second. They try to get as many KP as they possibly can this game by jumping immediately onto the low ground. Danish still alive, just a solo, just trying to stay and do whatever they possibly can to get some placement points. But Pioneers,
I don't think I have a fire Beavers, right?
Position. And right here, that moment from Zane, just so confident.
I mean, you know, it is, but that's what you like. You need to see that little bit of flash.
Let's bump these up here.
There's a really fun element to the fact that they knew they were going to win. I think they knew they were going to win even before anybody fell down to the bottom or challenged. That's the confidence they had in that zone from the beginning to the end, and it showed up here. Not the biggest win. We know that we saw some big games in game 1 from Fire Beavers.
Sabs
Pioneers
for the
are
culture.
in the mix. 24 total points. Vicky, give me your reaction here to this top 10.
I'm liking the Pioneers waking up after that first game. Like you mentioned, they were at the very bottom of the overall leaderboards. Tip highlighted it perfectly. They were caught in the middle of the rotation. I believe they also got third-partied on the low ground inside of a train cart by Fire Beavers, who ended up
I actually think I like the idea of
to actually contest having them on the edge of the circle. Despite this performance, though, this is going to allow Pioneers to now start picking up the momentum. This is important here. Yeah, Danish survived as a solo, but unfortunately,
so I think I'm going to keep this as is.
KP to their name, like we saw Certified Esports when they were secure inside that building, or Maestro Force on the low ground. Those teams are able to at least secure not just points in general for positioning, but KP as well. Looking on the other side, though, Fire Beavers didn't do the best potential chance that they could have had compared to their first chance.
But you know what we say, Tiff, it's if you get 5 to 7, even on a bad game, and you have a couple of those pop-offs, you're still in a really good position. That's why I want to get your reaction as we head over to our series results here for match 2 and 1 combined. Where does it leave us? Fire Beavers still in the lead by
working their way back up top.
Reactions to the results after games 2.
Look, 30 points in map number 1 is going to keep you consistent for at least 3 to 4 maps, so long as you can get some points throughout the next couple maps. And I think Fire Beavers have done enough. KCP coming back, putting down a 24-point game. Obviously, that's going to shoot them straight up the leaderboard. But what's really impressive, and I know we were talking a lot about this, are the powerhouses of each region and asking a lot of teams to kind of step up and challenge them.
Mike?
You look at that top 5. Maestro Game, two of the former members from Navi, right? Phoenix Legacy, you got Sabs on there, you've got
right now it is 2:30.
Like some teams that may have came in through those pro leagues.
Oh, what time is NA on? I think it's 6. Sorry.
To set themselves up for a good bit of success.
Let me double check that for you.
And I think back to Split 1 Pro League, right?
Yeah, 6 today.
Guess who got the win on match day number 1? There's Pioneers. There's Pioneers, baby. So they're starting a little bit early here. I'm sure they had a little bit of a donut in map number 1.
I think they might actually have a little bit of a break after this before
really well, and that's the thing. We've got Pioneers.
This started at 1.
Fire Beavers who have taken the games so far.
So more than likely they'll be a little bit
as well. But we've also seen teams like Ascend, Alliance, even Vex show glimpses and moments, but not get started in the way we would have expected for some of our top teams to show up.
Yeah, I'm going to be streaming pretty much every split, every region this split other than South America, because I might actually be over on the Team Singularity stream doing the English broadcast for South America.
Believe that we're already on our final map.
Otherwise, just split 2. I'm gonna try and cover every region over here.
We've already got a little bit of diversity in the ring, so I guess I'm trying to call for a southern zone on World's Edge.
Look, Tiff, are you telling me you don't want 3 rings on Climatizer? No, I'm joking. That was our first experience casting together. That was definitely one that I will never forget. Just like I'm not gonna forget this first day here in EMEA to kick things off. I can't believe it. Yeah,
but yeah, then for NA, since we'll probably have a couple more people
Storm Point
streaming, I'll be able to do more of the
2 games down, 1 more to go on
split screen, more like this.
I'm excited to see the difference of composition diversity that we've seen between Caustic coming in, Wraith. We even saw Lobo from Outplayed. That didn't work out for them, but we got to also highlight the rotations that we've been seeing. You highlighted Vex changing up their POI and what that means, as well as Ascend making the rotation away from Mirage Voyage towards the underside of the train tracks into Lava Fissure.
Yeah, it's really tough. You know, you learn a lot through split one regular season, but you go into playoffs, and Vex, you know, they highlighted it. They went up with that hard edge style against all the teams throughout globally, right? And it just didn't pay off for them. So they knew coming back to the drawing board, they had 3 to 4 weeks to kind of think about how they wanted to approach it. Now claiming Lava Siphon, switching up that drop.
You mean
POI,
like
which, if
for
you're
NA?
North America, you know, that's
yeah, I'm always open to like
and they found
have
a lot of success there. You could
tab for someone.
You can see the ring console. It's got a survey beacon. You have a lot of kind of
hold on, is there anyone on
abilities there, and not to mention some really high tier loot. And as you can see, as our teams spread out in their drop spot POIs, I'm just waiting to see where that. Oh, Vicky didn't jinx it. Are we going up north?
No. Oh no, I don't think it could be going to Climax Sister. I don't want to jinx it. We could see this pool a little bit towards survey or even towards.
I wish I could link my Twitch account to multi-stream though.
Skyhook north of Fragment West. We're gonna have to
my
see
Twitch
with some
Prime
of these
would work.
Circle consoles from the legends that are going to be able to scan that, the control legends.
Or my Twitch Turbo, sorry.
As a mainstay legend between a lot of these compositions, but I'm also interested at the consistent 50-50. We've been seeing.
I will admit though, Mike, I do also sometimes tune into the main broadcast just because as a caster, I kind of like to sometimes pick up what they're throwing down, if you know what I mean.
Specifically happening at Overlook, a lot of people wanting to claim that for their own, and especially in the NA region later today as well. But let's jump on board a little bit with the Pioneers, your winners of map number 2, and kind of see how they split up Lava Fissure, and they also get the Mirage Etoile. So you can see that it's going to be Dell that likely lands over there, gets the loot from the party, hits the.
We don't have any of these guys
to kind of jump back in and join up with the teams.
Our view.
When we talk about loot patterns, right? Especially on your drop stop POI, you don't really
Game
have
of Drones
a
was
good
a
bit of time to loot if your
qualifying
POI
team,
is
right?
contested. In Game of Drones, getting poked and prodded from above, but Torj able to get in the tower and try to get a line of sight on the members of Dynasty and try to find some good opening damage for them.
You saw that Rose that Seer just tossed out to the side after using his heirlooms right there too, just trying to get away, trying to put that down on the casket of this team now as they try to
I don't think the PK works in that range, bro.
Dynasty that they keep meeting up with out here. A little side angle right now that Torch needs to watch out for.
I mean,
at least get inside.
Got an R9 and an alternator. If you're gonna drop off on spot and to immediately fight, that's kind of what you want. You want a PK, you want an SMG, you want to be able to close the distance. But if they're gonna go ahead and push comes to shove and just really catch you off guard, no one was watching their back.
They're trying wide swing this, but they're gonna be expecting it.
They had the number advantage. Can they comes out? Mania falling low. He had to reload. He's playing off the knockdown shield, but Torch has the health advantage.
Nice.
Has the health and is ready to put this thing.
Are
to
people gonna be coming in on a third party though? Is the question.
Team out of the.
Looks like Nasky's in a fight. Let's go ahead and jump over here with him real quick.
On me. I'm starting and I'm flying up.
They're over here in
I'm with you, Nasky.
Yeah, I'm taking.
They have a full squad in here, I think. Sounds like.
This is Sky West. We should be fine to take this fight.
Popping a skull.
Team here.
Yo, can we switch guns?
Yeah, okay. We're swapping guns really quick, Nask.
Yep, I dropped you everything. Okay, we're chilling now. We're chilling.
Yeah.
Should still be a guy here.
Okay, scan that though.
Yeah, he is. He's on the second.
Can you
floor.
ult? Can you ult though?
Queuing this.
Yeah, I'm gonna ult from roof.
Yeah, do that. Sane, start looking for angles. Click the team inside.
All right, so they got 2 below and 1 on.
Yeah, with you.
Coming.
He's hit. Oh my goodness!
I took the port. I took the port by accident.
I took it too by accident.
Oh no. Take it back.
I took it back. I took it back.
Take it back.
I took back as well. I'm gonna pop a Phoenix hit.
I'm batting. Sane, start pressure. Q the rest though.
I can't. I don't have it. And I'm
He's holding me out. He's holding me out.
We can't let them rest. We can't let them rest. We can't let them rest.
That's 0, bro. And I'm getting arced out and held out. I can't stop that.
I didn't cancel anything.
I'm moving up. We can't let them rest, guys.
Okay.
Trying to apply pressure, making sure they keep their numbers.
On me.
I stunned him on the door.
They got full. Oh. Oh! Yo, that jump was brilliant.
Last.
One. Right here. He's facing away.
He faced. Race that. Yeah.
She's really low.
There's one over here.
Shield me.
Yeah, I'm shielding. He's gonna start shooting.
I'm gonna just play for go.
Yeah, rest.
Fuck.
I'm gonna Phoenix when you rest.
Popping a bat.
He's pushing. Catch him.
Pushing me.
He's here.
Crack him. He's really weak. I'm healing.
Up top.
15.
Ooh, bro.
Popping a med kit because I'm 1 pump
Yeah,
dead
do it.
from a PK.
I'm healing too. And then I'm finding him and canceling him.
Yeah, good.
Try to rest when you can. He's gonna peek from height, I think. On ultimate height. Play together, full send the stairs or some
She's
shit.
facing.
Again, Arise.
Wait, she's cancelling.
You canceled it.
Yeah, she cancelled it. Nasky, crawl this side, bro.
I'm climbing on
No,
it.
I'm climbing
Flying
up.
up, flying up.
Okay, I'm coming to you now.
She dropped.
Nice. Pushing different sides of the house. It should allow them to push in. Beautiful.
That took way too long, dude.
Long time. Holy fuck.
On the left side.
Oh, they're sitting in on the Pioneers.
There should be boxes here too then.
Yeah, there is on the roof.
Oh, all here too.
I need to check just for the cells, that's all.
Let's do a quick look in here real quick. Once Sabs is done, they're rocking the blue purple over here.
На краю, слышите?
Там ульты справа, да, я подсосал.
Fire Beavers looking pretty solid.
Там нет файт, там
А можете словить нокнутых? О, не нокнутых, которые под нас.
Че вы на лунейм летят, на ресепшн, блин, на респаун.
Подожди, а эти слайдить?
Yeah. 100%. Like, I was trying to tell my mod Moon that he kept trying to tell me that Cat was, or that Catalyst wasn't going to use that much.
Eyes up, eyes up.
Lions still has one player rocking the white shield.
Я спалился.
Oh, Taskmaster is another view of
Зон лют.
Каталист.
Почти кракнул,
Добиваем, мы идем внутрь дома.
Да.
Ты добил связь?
Oh, wait, my bad, Jet.
Я бангу смотрю.
Дигитала нету?
Не знаю, я ушел.
Банга съебалась.
Да, ты другой склад сверху, Кирюк, беги
Банга тут,
I didn't realize I had two different Fire Beaver angles. I'm kind of cool with it for now, but...
Убил, смотрю вверх.
Okay, well.
Сверху на будке стоят. Будка хэдблич.
How'd you even know he was there?
Окей.
Я через дигитал смотрю, не вижу.
Они ушли, мне надо бадик забрать и захилить его свой. Есть смог, если что?
Ушли, точно?
Я не понимаю.
Да.
I don't think we can really scan it since there's a team on the hill. Yeah, we can.
Talking about teams now just trying to share some of the space. The Arc Star gets sent out. Seartac to try to get more information into Chaku, who's playing in the corner, but here's the difference. Sherovic
Love seeing
being on
the
Caustic. Yes, he's taking a lot of
Caustic
damage.
out.
He needs to pop a Medkit or a Phoenix Kit if he has one. It doesn't look like he
Interesting
does right now. He's using
composition here for
smaller
2R1C.
heals with the shield cell, and okay, he does gonna pop the
Like something completely off meta.
And it's Maestro Gaming who has the high ground. Difference is that with the Caustic, they could bunker down with those barrels.
Who was it that we saw earlier using
Sonya,
Watson?
yes, could disrupt the vision. Yes,
Ascend.
put down
I wonder
those
if Ascend's
spikes
still rocking
against these doors and reinforce them, but they
Watson
have to
Crypto.
respect playing off of the same building right now as that other team.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about this more. If you're going to see Catalyst, you've got two doors that you have the ability to reinforce, and as Tax just getting punished by a Nox gas trap. That's rather unfortunate. And you see Fire Beavers trying to make their way into the Climatizer Epi-type area. But here's the deal. As this zone is starting to kind of close and move over towards Survey Camp and Epicenter, let's think about the teams that land there that we really haven't seen too much of thus far. Horizon Union, that's their drop spot POI, and if that's what they need to find success here thus far in Split 2, this could be the map for them to kind of pop off. But you got to get through Fire Beavers first.
Yeah, and the tricky part about Epi too is that high to low ground difference between some teams that could take a skyward dive and get in that sniper tower in the middle, have the high ground over them, and then basically call in a bait for a third party, even a fourth party. Fire Beavers, with their game plan though, and the way that they're running this comp, we know that they've been pretty aggressive. They've been able to clean up some KP after that second game. Didn't take the dub, but then they got the dub game one with about 18 KP to their name. So just overlooking any of the teams that could be taking their time, slowly rotating from the south side of the map. They want to be able to get in control over where this next circle is going to be pulling if they have the available information for
all the people who are still
This is so interesting. I know that Vex was talking about playing
like
zone more often or
closer
not, but look at where they're located on the map. Not necessarily super hard edge, but just on the outskirts and moving towards that next zone. So yeah, they're
KCP's
a little
got
further into that zone than usual, but
they have
still
all three
on the
up, or is that
outskirts
a
of
spectator
next zone.
glitch? It has to be a spectator glitch, right?
Like La Cité de France, they're over
think
still
KCP
on
has all
the
three
left
up, right?
side. You've got Totem still very hard edge as long as Foot as well. And
Fire Beavers in a fight here real quick. Let's go and hang on them board with them real quick. Actually, Fire Beavers is playing without one. They're a duo at the moment. Over here, Climatizer. Or Epicenter. Sorry.
Да, нормально пока что. Можно вот сюда подойти со смоками.
Давай, надо уходить туда. Один смок есть.
Вы, кстати, может, заберете баннеры, если они не стоят на ХГ.
Кирюх, я тебя не вижу. Подойди ко мне.
Вместе.
Я вот так, пробегаем дальше.
It's gonna be tough for them to try and figure out where they can buy some additional space at.
Пробегай дальше, беги дальше.
Especially as a duo. The only like risk when you go to edge the way they're talking about doing is now that they run the risk into teams like rotating into them too, right?
It's Alliance versus Ascend right now.
Yeah, KCP's got.
They just knocked one down there.
How does he know? I mean,
KCP's got all the.
Zero low, zero low. Zero almost knocked. Zero almost knocked.
nice guys.
It's a 3P. It's a 3P on red ping.
Oh nice.
My bad, I didn't realize his voice was that loud, chat. Hopefully they didn't
Can you queue it, Sane?
One.
clear any of y'all out.
That's a different seer. That's a different seer.
This is a big spot here for
So that they
KCP.
can get the finish on us.
This is not going to be anybody really on their north side.
It might be just 3 teams.
They have height, so they can kind of keep an eye on everything around them. You can see Nasty's doing a good job of keeping his head on a swivel here.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Shoot that low HP guy.
He died.
What's in the drop, Sane? What's in the drop? Check if it's Kraber, please.
Hold on our east.
Where's drop?
Come back, Sane. Come back, Sane. No.
Fire Beavers is out here. That's big for
No,
KCP.
Kraber, house has Kraber, okay?
Okay.
Come back now, Sane. We need a full send these guys. We need a full send these guys. We need a full send.
I'm queuing it. I'm arcing inside. Arcing the backside of it. Stun
Good
him,
call by KCP. By
Bang knock,
did
bang
he
knock.
just stick him?
All one. Literally one.
Nice.
Man, they just made that look easy.
Go back, get space.
Yeah,
Nades.
I'm going back to the rock.
Dude, honestly, like listening to him is like poetry in
Thank you,
motion.
Game of Thrones. They're resting here and they're resting here too. Yellow and red are rest.
Should I probably move my camera down
Go back
on
on your rocks.
these?
Del,
chat?
take information now. I'm looting. I'm not looking for you. Del, you're yelling.
There's no one here.
So you can see the kill feed?
You can go, I think.
Good.
Yeah, rock was free. Just be careful from your west. I don't see.
I know that would technically put me like over their cam a little bit, but
Alt Excel, Del.
something like that.
Yeah.
Grab it now. I'm coming
I'm
straight. I'm
popping an
stopping
Alt
with you, Del.
Excel and I'm coming down. You want me to just pop
Oh
both?
my god.
Probably.
148 on Watson White, man. It's still 3 teams there, by the way, just saying. They're all gonna fight again.
Another team resting here.
Won't contest them on the north side. They can also play off the lip by the train tracks
over
to
here.
actually get a nice head
Tell you,
glitch over
KCP's
the
got
other teams
themselves
that
a
want
really
to
nice
contest them
spot.
by survey. So this is a really good spot for KCP to hold.
I think taking that early
They are
fight
gonna have to
and
move, though, a
claiming
little
this
bit, looks
spot
like.
early was everything, because now they have a free
They're gonna have to
LOS
move
to
just a
everyone
hair
that's
bit
going to
inside.
be rotating out of Climatizer, and you've got Zane having that G7 scout handy is going.
Fix the quality there, my bad, chat.
I don't have much bullets like I need. There's
Maga smoked us.
I don't have any vision, guys.
I have no healing.
I'm gonna have Ulti in.
Fuck, I'm gonna waste my last butts.
There's a team there.
Post. Is the team on the bridge? Like, you're super open post.
I said the team smoked.
Yeah, but they can pick you.
No.
What if they are close?
I have no healing post.
They're there. They're dropping down, at least one drop down.
No.
Ascend's like in the middle of this circle, but they're again still running the Watson is so strange to me.
Just fully focus on killing these teams.
Like I just don't see the value, dog.
Don't pick from this door. There's Charge watching.
They're gaining. They're winning angles. Did you crack someone? No.
Oh, dude.
Can I pick?
It's not that I don't see the value. Because obviously, like big value logging out a building still, but like I don't know, man. I just feel like in the meta right now. Checking with yo, Yuki's still rocking a freaking white shield, bruh. That's tough.
So that we don't
No.
get shot in our fucking side.
Somebody is gonna end up playing on this. And
Yeah.
We're all playing on Saints Rock late.
yeah.
Okay.
Me and Del are holding out this side right now. That's the only threat we have. And,
I didn't think Zane's rock was in. I didn't realize that.
Was that a low ball?
I think I don't know. I wasn't looking.
No,
Okay, we
I
have.
don't think it was, bro. I think that was gone from ages.
I just saw like a fucking something.
Just make sure nobody rats our west here.
Keep
Like,
griefing these guys though.
inside.
So there's still
Yeah.
12
Same,
teams
you're
left,
making sure
man.
no one's coming
When
from
this
red ping, okay?
circle closes
That's
in,
your
it's
job.
about to get
I
crazy.
don't think they can anyway.
Looks like we have enemies here.
Oh man, such a difficult situation. It's
I'm about to
exactly
say,
what
do
you're
we
talking
have
about too,
cast
Tiff. Sometimes these early
or-
rotations could literally spell your doom and force you to be in a pinch situation. Horizon fully taking advantage of that, playing from right behind their backs. Vex also applying some of that extra pressure. It's about that hillside that they had a lack of cover to play around.
I think Vex needs
between
to
the
move
fact
off
they
that,
also
right, though?
didn't have rocks to play around too to get out of the line of sight of Horizon Union. Now, on the other side, Horizon Union have the ice to their right, have some rocks to their left, playing off the lip of this hill, so that way they can also stay out of the line of
KCP
sight
go
of
down?
Vex in case they want to get involved in this fight.
I mean, you've got to deal with all of the players that have already moved into that next zone, heavy into survey camp. You still have KCP running
No,
the gamut
KCP's
of
over
the
there. They're
northern
just
area,
in a commercial.
and Horizon
Okay.
Union faced on the outside, not in that next zone, as it is starting to collapse around them, having to take a 3v3 on the outskirts. And you're going to draw all the attention to everyone that's already in zone.
All right, so
knowing
Horizon
that
Union
they need to clean up a
only
fight,
has
they
some
just
moves
need
to their
turn
left a
around
little
and
bit,
look
but I think they're the
behind them,
ones
just throw a couple bullets. So Horizon
that
has
see
their work cut out for them, despite this being
opposite
their
side
drop
of-
spot
yeah.
POI.
This little
So
area
they
right
play
over
this
here that
now with
KCP
the
was
missile
looking
storm
at.
moving into Ascend. Couldn't get pressure. Look at Luca. He's trying to get out of their line of sight. They get taken down. That's for esports that was on the other side of that wall into the lovely line of sight.
Why are they still on a commercial?
On top of this high ground, 8 squads left.
I want to
Let's not
sit in with
forget where
KCP.
KCP was situated in all of this when they were playing off the north side away from Climatizer. Don't think they're going to be in the next circle. This is big with Vex Gaming also playing off the low ground. They got
Nice
Tyler
turn
up
by
late, so they need all the loot that they
Unlucky.
can work with.
I mean, look, Tyler already down. Unlucky and Matafe are going to have to take this fight without him because he is fooled. So now down to a 2-stack, and it's Horizon that is forced to fight for this building and fight for the
Maestro's
space in
right
that
across
end
the way
game
in
zone.
that
And sure, you haven't necessarily moved in,
little
but all
car,
the seer
train
attacks
car,
going
truck,
out
whatever the
looking for
fuck you
that
wanna call it.
information. And yes, you have a catalyst reinforced door, but it may not be enough. You can see it's going to be down. They're maneuvering around it, and Horizon Union still a 3-man stack on the outside of this building, not in the next zone. So they are going to have to continually fight forward. So let's look to feign it.
I want to sit on board with KCP.
We need them to either move away from us or fight them early enough so we don't.
Unless we have
get
anybody
through.
else that's fighting.
They're just barreling up or some shit.
Same.
Oh, actually, let's hang on board with Matafe, who's in the fight.
Yeah, I'm Phoenixing.
Yeah. Watch it, this door is gone.
Hold that door.
Fine.
I'm Phoenix, okay? 4 seconds. Hope I'm not getting cancelled right now.
We're a team in
Oh, for
caravan
fuck's
now,
sake.
we're so fucked.
That's not good. That's not good. You have to hold. You have to hold. You have to hold.
Yeah, I'm holding.
That's not good. Uh-oh.
That's not good. No,
Flash one,
bro.
flash
It's
one.
not good at all,
I know.
dog.
I'm
swinging
backing,
it. I'm swinging a quick one.
Yeah, try to get these kills.
Yeah.
Try. Oh, I thought you can swing it.
Yeah.
That does push him off the door, though.
Go on.
Nice, we need to wipe this. We don't have anything to play.
On me. Here. Crack 100.
I can't play
See
this.
that?
Like, nice. Betting all you.
Yeah, let's click. All
Nice,
that.
well played.
Nice.
We have to swing
They
right.
need
We
to
have
be able
swing
to
right,
get to
okay?
that
You have
ammo,
all.
though.
You have all.
No.
Nice.
Oh no, never mind.
That's a free. That's a guarantee. Cracked him out.
Look at the drop, look at the drop.
Lobo 1 knock.
Oh,
Last
okay,
guy's cracked,
Nasky.
low HP. Saint, go for the truck now and hold her cross. Saint, go for the truck now. Nade this if you have. Nade one time. Q this, Saint. Q and nade once. Don't move.
I think that
I'm getting hold on my cross.
Alliance we were just
Popping them back.
not Alliance.
I got my kill. One of them.
Team we were just sitting on with now. Now you remember who in the world we were just watching a second ago. Oh, bro. Oh, bro.
We have to push it.
64 on him.
Use my wall if you need. Use my wall if you need.
Yeah, using wall.
Come, we can wrap the house maybe.
Save for me, Del. I need a med kit. Drop a med kit, please.
Oh, Zane didn't need to push away that far. You just need to use that to block LOS, dude.
I'm going to Zane.
Yeah, they're getting.
Tough, man.
Dude, I wish I knew.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, look over. I'm gonna try and loot. Dropping cells here if I take mine.
All right, top 4 here.
Shit, boys. 126 on this guy. You're good. Get cells and
we
shit.
can't. The box are in the open here. It's too risky.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back.
Who do we have? Alliance and who? Alliance, Ascend. Do we actually want to sit on with Ascend? I think. Oh no, that's not Ascend. Never mind.
There's team outside is building too.
Yeah, we need to work in low ground here. We need to work in the low ground. I'm 1-6 now.
So Alliance is in a tough spot because they have one of the farthest rotates at the moment. But they got quite a bit of coverage, as you can see. They can move up at least till here. There's a team in this other building right across the way, though.
Okay. I can hold this.
Hold.
You take a bad TK.
84 purple.
Take a bad TK behind you.
Okay, okay.
Nice, he's there.
Winner.
Team on right.
Effect on me as well.
Look at this
Effect
TK.
go, effect go.
Come to me.
Yeah,
We need to look for Yuki now, though.
These guys are looking at you guys. These guys looking at you, maybe. These guys.
Yeah, look at him, Yuki.
All right, so I guess no location here.
84 red.
Don't worry, Picta.
Yeah.
They're in a good spot here right now.
Can I come now?
Cross. Coming. Fuck them for you.
I need light ammo.
Yeah, I'm dropping.
I'm walling.
40.
Move.
Yeah. Wall everything.
All catching.
Careful.
I stand one.
Oh man, Rampart.
Okay.
Malio.
Put on the wall here.
I got no Sheila, 80%.
Okay,
Yes, we see one.
One is B1.
I knocked one.
Place all.
Chill. What's the other side?
They're really like able to buy themselves a bunch of space here
Make the shit, we need his loot though.
with those walls. Actually,
I need these guys fucking loot.
top 4 here now.
Yep.
They need to be able to get to these boxes. There they go. That's a bunch of loot. They need to be able to get this quick here though. Top 3.
I'm sucking it dry.
There's a John we need to break.
Dropping.
On the roof.
We just need to
They
hold.
know they got a team above them.
Yeah,
That's
full team
fighting.
roof, full team roof.
Yuki, light everywhere.
You need to pull on the...
Move your wall forward.
On my left.
I'm batting.
Nade. I'm batting as well. They're nades, Yuki.
Oh my god.
You need to move your walls in front of it.
Okay. I'm gonna pop this back first. Hold on.
They have to drop into each other. Just hold. They have to drop into each other.
All right, so you can hear Hakis doing a really good job keeping the squad together, keeping them cool, calm, collect. They're gonna have to worry about this team that's right up above him here, though. Big shots to be able to crack the valve. Last team coming down, that's Phoenix Legacy. This is the last fight here. I think this is gonna be Alliance taking home the dub.
Use me.
1v1. Oh, finishes it off with the punch.
Good game though. Nice try.
Advantage. They're the ones that take game number 3 on World's Edge.
Vicky, that was I've witnessed in a very long time. We're in the free cam shot and everyone's just
Wait, where am I getting sound from?
want to hear your thoughts about it. I mean, congrats to Eternal withstanding that onslaught.
I don't know where I was
Ryan.
getting sound from there at the end.
I muted myself because I couldn't get in your guys' ears during that. I was screaming. I was too hyped. The fact that we saw the Rampart ending, I know everyone's like, is it real? Yeah, it's real. It's happening. Will we see it again, though? But what a moment from Eternal. What a great hold from Phoenix Legacy to make it difficult. Sabs and Imp running in behind Alliance. It was a great showcase of 2 different complete playstyles. We saw the Catalyst and we saw the attempted counter to the Catalyst. It ended up being, I believe, the Catalyst team that won, but Eternal, they really did a great job over that final circle to make an impact, and that's what you need. Eternal, a team we hadn't talked too much about going into this, Vicky, but they have certainly made it, so we have to talk about them now.
Yeah, can we talk about the chef's kiss from the wall placement too coming in from Doctors? Eternal played that rotation as best as they could. What Maestro couldn't do at the very end when they were getting pinged underneath the building, basically stuck between Alliance and Eternal. Eternal took advantage of navigating through the delayed sight lines that Phoenix Legacy couldn't take advantage of. So that was amazing rotation from them. And despite even having to fight on top of the high ground, that slight lip of that hill, they heard the Rampart coming out with the Sheila and they still were able to fixate their attention on making sure effect is not a problem.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, Tiff. You know, the Sheila, the Rampart, I mean, these are all great ideas. And when you look at them technically, yes, it destroys doors. Yes, it would be difficult to keep your piercing spikes up. The Sheila can spray and pray, find people behind, but there's not that much time. I mean, it often comes down to a little moment. I think that last moment too came down to a missed punch by Yuki because the first punch worked and knocked the player into the ring on the low ground. The second punch whiffed, and I think that gave a member of Eternal a chance to go ahead and respond with some bullets and finish off Yuki there.
Yeah, it was really tough, right? You saw the player kind of punching, trying to reload, and it was just like a war of attrition at that point. But what I want to think back to in that endgame circle is if you just go back to why Alliance pushed that building in survey camp initially, right? Because they had the positioning that Eternal eventually used the cat wall to take away from Alliance. And I have to think, had they maybe not pushed up so early on to that building, would they have won that game? I don't know, just a couple what ifs there that I'm just like looking at thinking, I'm like, was that the game losing positioning for them?
Yeah, I know it is really interesting. And sometimes I think that's the way it goes with Apex. Somebody tries to get that position, but in the same time, yes, it would have been good. But if staying back and allowing another team to do that, keeping your resources, showing up a little late, it might have been better. But let's take a look at the highlights. Game 3 ended in amazing fashion. We got to see some Rampart. We got to see some Catalyst. But you two, you casted it. Tiff, heading with you to kick off these highlights. Kind of what did you see here in our final game on World's Edge?
I mean, it was really cool to see those initial contests and then Pioneers kind of running into this fight here. We got the comms, and it was really unique to hear them look at this fight afterwards, right? They're like, whoa, that took way too long, because you have to think about the rotations. Teams that are looking to make themselves into that next zone, there's typically like a running clock of when they need to get in or get out of a certain POI to set themselves up for success. But this play right here from Vexed Gaming, as they move in, especially with Unlucky on the Catalyst, throwing up the reinforcement on the wall. Now, I don't know how many of you have actually tried to play Catalyst, but there is a 0.5-second delay that it takes to reinforce a door. And you can actually do that while holding your gun and throwing out your piercing spikes, which is why I think they had so much success trying to take
I did not know
area.
that.
It was
That's interesting.
rather bleak, right? It did not go smoothly, but they pulled it off.
Yeah, and this was really
Did y'all know that, Chad? I didn't know that.
Causing trouble for Vex. And you could just see the way I described Catalyst too. She's a controller, but she has an element of offensive control, throwing those piercing spikes down, kind of taking space away from you, while also the wall saying, do not cross. Vicky, it ended up, though, being Alliance on the Rampart who started to turn the tide here. And we thought, is this the game we're going to finally see them take control?
She took out that Sheila, and you already know what business that means. And we saw the end play right now. Oh, you already know. I mean, it goes beyond that. That was the Rambo machine gun effect basically coming through and playing off the little slight barrier. You see Effect punching the rest of the competition out. Eternal, though, had not only the health advantage, but they also were able to clearly just climb up on the top. Thankfully, at the very end, with Bambino still alive, Eternal was able to take control over the high ground right there. Beautiful play from not only the melee punches, but also working around the Sheila that was obviously working out very well for Alliance at the end game. I believe it was Yuki, though, that did originally go down first for Alliance, which allowed the rest of the lobby that was left to make sure that they could hold on to the high ground on that hill.
Listen, our job is to tell the stories, it's to break it down, it's to assimilate the pro to the casual and to the upper level casual who are watching right now. But our job isn't to play in the pro league. That's why when we have a little bit of time to give you analysis from someone who's in it, it's always a little bit exciting. So let's bring on our guest for halftime. Something new we're introducing this season. It's Graceful joining us for a little bit of a halftime recap. What is up, Graceful? We saw you in London last. It is great to have you on here today.
Thank you for having me.
I can get with this.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. So far, the games in Pro League have been amazing. I think most of the teams that I expected to be at the top are still kind of at the top, KCP, Fire, Beavers, etc. Other teams are already stepping up to it as well. There is 6 games in total.
So what, this is somebody who's not playing, right? Because Element 6 is playing?
Of teams changes drastically based off of the maps as well. A good example would be Vex plays a lot of zone / edge. They play both, actually. They play a lot of edge on World's Edge, and when they come to Stormpoint, they play hardcore zone.
Element 6
so
is
it's
in
going to
Group
be
C.
fun to see the
yeah.
drastic change on teams' play style.
This is smart. I like this.
You know, great little recap there. I want to get your thoughts as well in terms of the concept we've seen of KCP showing up with this new roster. They won Pro League Day in EMEA as well in Split 1. They seem like they're doing a good job here. But you, as many people know, having joined Element 6 with K20 and Slayers, you know what it's like, that honeymoon phase of getting onto a new team that's got great players and winning. Talk to us. Do you think KCP has really found the right fit with Zane? Or is this a little bit of something that, you know, they're going to have to figure out over the course of the season?
It's very hard to tell. Like you said, there's a honeymoon session, but the hardest part is not because of new players' addition or their strengths. The hard part is figuring them out as we go. Scrims is not really a good example.
I think the good thing that works for them is that they're used to like molding Nasky and Delbit behind a Slayer.
Amount of practice, which is then Pro League, and
I think with Zane being a newer,
kind of
like ALGS player, it's only going to help build up his.
As a player is definitely a good fit for the team, but how well they will mesh will go up to them. It'll be the same for
it'll
us
help
as well,
with
due to the fact that we don't have the. Oh, sorry.
like build up on their own.
They'll tell me this as well, Graceful.
Like because he hasn't really played much. He's like building up his own confidence. But to be able to play around players like Nasty and Dell, which are only going to help like make him better.
And scrims, you seem to be keen on that character.
You cast South American ALGS, yeah. So actually today is my first day working on the American broadcast.
The main reason why we're playing it is because we're still figuring out.
I've done some work over in the APAC region.
Slayers and Swinny, both of them are very high.
Over here on the channel, we actually recently
same as for me. But
interviewed
me being
Pocus,
the only mouse and keyboard player on the team currently,
who does like the Portuguese broadcast for South America ALGS,
where they can make a lot of plays.
One of the things he talked about was like liking to have like an American broadcast, even if it's a small growth at first. And I talked to Singularity, so I started doing the English broadcast over there today.
I think that it's better
I'll be there
the person in command
on the Singularity channel for
what to do than for me to be a
every South American broadcast.
Like, I shouldn't tell you go from A to B to C, and if it doesn't work, panic and do something. It's better if I'm in that spot to take the decision to do that. So that's why we're putting Swinny on the Brave, so he can do exactly how he envisions it, and it plays out perfectly.
Vic, Tiff, anything for Graceful before we get into some of these results?
The girls are like,
no,
cool,
my brain just started like lighting up when he mentioned that, because I was thinking of some of the teams that I've been watching in NA, how they had the IGL essentially on Wraith as opposed to Seer. So
Controller
I think
detective.
Really, like, I thank you so much for that. But
hey Moon, have you been watching much of the games yet? Have you noticed how many
of these legends and kind of switching around the perks with the controller class only being able to have that ring information? I believe I saw
between the three regions?
One of the teams playing 2 controller legends, no recon. So very interesting there. But do you think a lot of people have been trying to like kind of redefine their roles based on the classifications?
Yeah, so the roles are really good. I like them a lot, but they didn't really change things up. The Legends power picks
60% on the Catalyst?
Being the best mobility character that's adaptable for any zone. Seer being god tier with wall hack for 25 seconds despite the nerfs. Catalyst being a new addition, very viable but hard to play, but still everybody is, experimenting, which I really, really like. So Catalyst, in my opinion, is the peak of Apex. Seer is the lower part of Apex. Bangalore, Caustic, Watson, Crypto, all of them super solid, always have been viable, will always stay viable. They need to rearrange a little bit, but overall, super good step in the right direction. Yeah.
I love that. I think that you made a good point. You said Catalyst is really hard to play. And I mean, I was talking to a lot of people yesterday and they're like, I was literally playing for an hour practicing different catwall lineups in buildings to try and apply those to my playstyle. So a lot of people have been putting in the work and the effort to play Catalyst. So seeing it done really well, which I know we got to highlight that clip from Unlucky. Did you see that play where they moved in on the building in survey camp and he reinforces the wall and isolates that member of the team on the outskirts? It's just beautifully done. It's like a work of art when you see that.
He catches them
off. So
guys,
we wish we could keep you here forever, Graceful. We do have to keep it moving though in terms of the show, but I want to get your reaction before we let you go to our match 3 standings, which we're going to bring up here. Overall, after 3 games on World's Edge, this is where it goes. Match 3 results here. Eternal, I mean, little comment on Eternal and their play to get that big 26-point kill in that final 3 that we just saw, Graceful.
As we can see here, Eternal, Phoenix, Mistro, they outplayed a lot of teams that weren't considered, in quotes, strong or LAN worthy, are super hungry this season. I love to see it in all of Pro League splits across all the regions. All the teams are there to show up right now. I think the last LAN inspired and motivated everyone. Seeing them perform at the highest level in these lobbies right now in our region is really good. They've always had the potential in scrims. It's hard to show off in scrims, but when it comes up to the main stage, popped off.
Yeah, when the lights are on, that's when it matters, right? So these teams starting to show that they can do it both behind the scenes and when it is main stage. Let's take a look at the overall results too, Graceful. Any surprises here? Maybe Maestro, maybe Eternal being 3-4, or just how does it feel overall half the day done in EMEA?
So it's only half the day done. It's hard to tell. As you can see, all the top tier teams that have made LAN every single time pretty much are slowly crawling up and securing their spots at the upper half. Some other teams are fighting for the middle part, but yeah, Maestro, Eternal, Maestro specifically, I think it's not, they have always been here. They just haven't been in the light. They have always been here. Now they got picked up by Maestro and they're popping off. I'm super happy. Fire Beavers, Pioneers, they're god tier. Everybody knows. Eternal also stepping up. I love to see all the other people step up. We need more to speak about the rest of the teams and not just the upper end. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, you know, this is how you get talked about, right? You win games, you get in the top threes, you get points, then the narrative has to go around you. Graceful, congratulations on everything with E6 that you have transitioned to and what is upcoming for your season. We look forward to watching you guys play, and thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
So you telling me you just woke
Graceful,
up,
everybody. You'll see him play tomorrow with Element 6, K-Swinny, and Slayers. And Vicky, Tiff, and I want to get your thought, Vicky. Great to hear the insight from someone who's in the thick of things as a pro this season.
It's a good thing they ripped him off, you know, basically at the very end, because I was going to talk his brain off about his thoughts and not just the legend compositions, but what he's got to look out for in Group C, since that is the group that him and E6 are going to be playing in, because there's a lot of heavy hitters that I'm excited to see for tomorrow. But it's always nice to hear Graceful thoughts and his impression of not just the meta, but how the other teams are playing. I think he really highlighted a lot of important points that some people tend to overlook.
Well, that's the thing, too. You could see how it works when you're playing in scrims. When these teams are trying to come up and make a name for themselves in the pro league, it's inspiring. Hey, and if you're inspired as well, you might have a chance to come up as well and be a part of the pro league. The Challenger Circuit registration, it's open and ends on March 22nd. The tournament starts on March 25th, and you can go on battlefy.com in order to sign up. So make sure that if you are inspired by this action, you think you've got what it takes, join the Challenger Circuit and prove it. Right,
Boone, you doing Challenger Circuit, Big Dog?
Very, very soon. In fact, so soon, it's right now.
Woke up earlier, but you went back to sleep.
We'll be heading into Storm Point for the first time. And this is going to be very exciting. I'm not sure if I am here with Tiff or if it's Vicky. Yeah, he's going to take a break. So it's going to be me and Tiff rocking into it straight away. Tiff, no break. We're going into game 4. I know the fans are happy about it. I'm happy about it too.
All gas, no break, baby.
Let's kick off Storm Point.
Look, I couldn't be more excited, Rain Day. We get to sit here, see what's going to happen on that first Storm Point map of the year. We look at the drop spot Vex not actually switching things up. They are going to remain consistent and keep that drop spot POI of Launchpad. They've got the hot zone. They have a lot of unique capabilities here. But Checkpoint, I spoke with Sabs ahead of time. She's over on Phoenix Legacy. They're landing in Checkpoint, which they were worried that they were actually going to be contested. And turns out they are not going to be contested, but start a fight over here in Cascades, getting a little early action from the team of Danish.
Early contest on Storm Point, risky for both teams. But there could be value here if you come out on top. Early? That was one of my biggest criticisms with KCP at LAN. They contested so many times. Nasky said, let him cook. Well, he didn't end up serving anything at the end of the day. You got to hope Start a Fight have a different plan here. They've already got one, though, so this is looking better as they chase the others down the hill. They're going to rotate.
This? No, this is all fine.
High ground, a little dozy-do.
What do you mean?
But it seems like Start a Fight with 3 should be able to handle this one.
I mean, triple blue, but you hear the shotgun coming in. That's going to take out Blast. Lackey going in and able to deal the finishing blow to Danish. And now a well-deserved 3 KP for the beginning. Let's cut on over to Maestro. They're getting down to business over at the wall and finding themselves incredibly low. And Game of Drones going to fall. Maestro wanting to keep that dominance going forward. And I've been really impressed with this roster. We were asking, like, how is Tax going to perform? Typically, most of the experience coming in from that Challenger Circuit level, but Pioneers, the action's not stopping, Rain Day.
I know, this is crazy. KCP, I just mentioned it. They are totally fine with an early game fight. And that's the thing that you've got to know going up against KCP, and KCP got to know going into these tense moments, the quality of the team that you are going to be going up against is going to change. In the highest of high levels at LAN, it is not as easy as doing this. So they still decide they are going to be willing to go for it. I think they will also have a little bit of an advantage too, having added Zane to this roster. He's going to be one of those players, if you look at NA, like Verholst, who can sometimes clutch it up all by himself because of the talent in terms of aiming. So KCP make it out alive. Game of Drones will go down, and at least 17 squads here to kick off our match in Storm Point.
Yeah, it's really interesting. When you think about seeing a crypto drone in your vicinity, there's only 2 teams in the lobby that are running crypto at this point in time. That's going to be Phoenix Legacy and Ascend, typically Cachero on that. But we know that like Phoenix Legacy, they land Checkpoint and they play that early rotate. So they're the ones that have actually already made their way into North.
Catalyst, unless they changed it.
Look for that information and then start to act upon it. KCP starting off so incredibly strong. onto that Watson. They've got the Jenny, and now they can just really set up here in North Pad at the intersection of the next zone. They've already got that information.
Yeah, they feel it's going to be a northern pull. They landed at Mill. They made a fast rotation there.
I'm looking for Valkyries.
You're gonna push his team under him?
In on the south side.
I'm gonna try kill one. Corsic almost
Yep,
cracked.
Zane's
Corsic
down.
Me. He wasted it.
Good. We can wait
Crack,
that out.
Buckler, 100 on white armor.
Yeah.
He just
Trying to
Big
swing.
big
Nice
one,
job.
Corsic one.
Oh, we got
Okay,
it.
wait.
Low
Good
bot,
shit.
26. They're split.
I have a digi.
Corsic
Woo!
one.
Not clever.
Corsic knock.
Nice.
I'm taking height.
No.
I'm taking height.
Nice.
Go to Jen.
Oh,
Stabilize
good.
on roof.
Yeah, go to Jen.
On me, full team on roof.
Oh shit!
No, full team on roof, bro.
One out to white. We can win this if
Play for rest.
Yeah, I'm
Start
full.
fencing.
Yeah,
Play
I'm
for
gonna
rest. Sane.
Rest him. I'm watching.
They're nading it though.
I have to get off of
I come
that.
behind.
I got hit by that. I'm batting behind knockdown. Give me knockdown.
Move back with me. No shield or knockdown.
Upstairs.
Drop down low, Sane. Drop down low. Escape.
Yeah, I'm running.
Fuck, bro.
Drop down low. Oh, there's a team that dropped in front of you.
Almost one for this guy. No, I died. Fuck.
Bro, there was just.
I mean, it's technically like not locked in on anything, right?
At least 5 or 6 kills after that, so it's not a terrible
so it does
game.
help in
not a great game though to
grow
kick
the scene.
off your first one on Storm Point, but Nasky going down, you know, that was the problem, Tiff, because if you have a catalyst there, you can throw some piercing spikes on that staircase or on that doorway.
Hopefully
and
gets
kind of
us
at least
to
give
London as
yourself
well.
some time for Vex not to 3-man push you right away, and I just think that really set the tone for Vex being able to run uninhibited at the rest of KCP, and they will be out, and Vex have the best position now heading into top 15.
Yeah, and just look at the changes that they've already enacted. You've got Tyler now on Bangalore, Matafe off
Contacts
Seer,
in with
moved
other-
on to the Watson. So just some little bit of changes that helps them be able to anchor down and show presence and control space on
Also,
Storm
I would
Point,
like
but
to help them
Morningstar is currently
kind
in
of build
20th
their
place,
presence in
looking
more
to
than
find
just
themselves some
Apex,
good
because then that's
success here.
something
They
we
were
can,
able to
like,
grab one
go
down
to
already
other,
earlier
orgs
from
with.
KCP, and they've got a knock onto post kill. So Ascend going into a rather unfortunate positioning here. You can see the veil is going to fall, and Ascend caught in the middle of Dynasty, and just not where you want to be. But they are having all that advantage. Lufka going to fall. How do you regain from that?
Bit chaotic, I would say. My theme of the first few minutes of this Storm Point game, everyone testing each other, nobody really playing too patiently. Maybe feeling confident that there's more Storm Point games to come.
Like,
Maybe
I
trying
already
to just
talked
start
with
things
them
off
and
for
made sure
teams
I
who
still
maybe
had, you know, my
not had that
flexibility
type
with like
of
my
running
goals as a
world edge.
caster. You know what I mean?
Either way, though, we've got 5 teams down very early in a region and a lobby that has kind of taken their time. And we'll see if that continues. We don't think Kashira is going to be able to make too much out of this one, though, Tiff. It may just be the end of Ascend as well, and they were trying to get more points desperately here.
Look, if anyone can regain, it's going to be Kashira as that crypto, utilizing the drone to grab the banners. But the moment he tries to bring that drone out, Dynasty's like, oh no, we left the wrong person alone.
I think it's just the fucking
Hang on, more with Vex here.
Look again, Tyler.
I just realized that this is probably a little bit loud. My bad, chat.
Fuck, I smoked down below.
I turned it up for the interview and never turned it back down.
I'm going up. I'm on the gen top floor. I'm on roof.
I'm on roof too.
I'm on roof.
Okay, nice, good shit. Play slow.
Let me get it.
She dropped down. I'm good. I'm good. She dropped down and is just on the knockdown.
Peek with you now. After you bar, we can peek again.
That's a
We
fence.
just need to
Right
vibe
now,
this and then we're chilling.
got the fence. I'm with you. Come.
Okay, I'm peeking now. Ready? No smokes though.
Just turf.
I like the fact that they're like checking on each other, making sure they don't overheat, but they're also able to like not get frustrated at them checking on one another. You know what I mean?
No, it's not. No, chill, it's not. Like, he has a team, okay?
That's something that not all teams are able to do. Oh, with the Watson? You talking about?
Yeah, I'm crypto.
Can we look for that shit below? So
EMEA is literally the first
so
region that started doing, has been using it Watson so far.
Crypto drone flying through our shit
It's
all the
interesting.
time.
We didn't see like any Watson in Apex South, I don't think, last night.
You know, getting rid of that
And
problem.
I don't remember seeing Watson at all today during South America.
No longer an opportunity. All of those players who do it, you know, you have the ability for them to now be kind of out in the open. So you've got to figure out a way to support them. The smoke, you're going to see that a lot. Even if you have a digi threat, you're going to have a weapon that probably cannot finish someone off from that far. You can see the enemy scan there from OJ Rain. Taking up that survey beacon. They'll have information as to who's in front of them. And remember, Tiff, they're lagging behind. So this is going to be crucial for Taskmaster, 9 Impulse, and OJ Rain to figure out where's the best route for us to find, especially also where should we play, since a lot of these late game spots are already going to be taken.
Yeah, it's really tough. I mean, they land Cenote Caves. That's all the way down the southwestern side of the zone. Everyone knows Storm Point is very, like, the terrain, very top to bottom. The north side of the map going to be that highest positioning. So Fire Beavers, they do have a valve that will allow them to get a little bit further by the sky if they need to.
Like, so what's the value for in case you lose the fight early and you get banners in Storm?
Checkpoint right now.
Is that
this
thought process
tough,
move?
and we see a lot of end games happen, particularly here.
Because otherwise, I feel like it really loses its value mid-game, right? Mid to late game?
You can see they're already finding a little bit of resistance from a team that's kind of occupied on the north point of checkpoint. But good for them getting that poke fight, right? That tells them, hey, there's a team up ahead. How are we going to navigate this? Do we have the Skyward Dive available to us? Should we need to kind of get in front of them?
Yeah, one of the greatest things about this too, and Fire Beavers as well, is this edge play is working really nicely for them. And you can see with the 43 points leading out in this lobby, they won game 1. Oh, and this is a great showcase of the assault class as well. Look at the extra resources. 9 Impulse able to carry a little extra ammo on the Bangalore also. They've got pretty much ring console, survey, and assault on this team. So a nice lineup.
So
but this team is also
no,
really
you're good. For Watson,
on edge, they've
like,
got
what's the value of Watson, say, over some of the other
picks?
They've
also got the bigger rotations
is
with
the thought
Valkyrie
for
tip, which I think
banners late on?
So much sense for me in this meta. If you're not,
yeah, I saw that. They had a late
game
play with Rampart.
You know,
game 2.
This is a really good approach.
Game
for
3.
Getting everything that you need.
I mean, look at Oirain right there.
Only Rampart we've
so
seen.
much damage from that flat line, throwing out the focus of attention, seeing that that player is literally 1 HP in a dream. That forces that team to start having to play around the resetting of that team member. But Vexed over here, still in North Pad, engaging with Phoenix Legacy on a multitude of levels throughout this building. Phoenix on the bottom, kind of utilizing the Watson fences to prevent Vex from kind of getting in there and being hyper aggressive. But you can see they are constantly getting pinged by that Seer, giving the information over towards Vexed. Not sure if this is one of those fights that would be really smart to take. Should Vex int on this, can they expect to be followed up with another team nearby? And it's the ability to take that fight smartly, minimize the damage that you receive so you can focus your attention on to the next fight.
Phoenix Legacy had done a good job getting into top 5s, top 3s. They're top 5 overall in the lobby right now. And
yeah, for when you're like locking down and trying to either just
getting the controller
corner up and heal or just avoid it just in general.
Together. It's Crypto and Watson instead of the Catalyst that we have seen showcased. And I love this different dimension too.
Все склады фулки.
12 ходов? Scream quality, так сказать.
Scream. Is anybody else actually fighting Matafe here for Vex?
And just watch for any Vulcans and shit.
It's hard for me to drop with you because like I can't get up fast.
I know. Yeah, just cover him.
You have DT so I can smoke?
No. I got smoke from height.
Have a gen. Yeah, I won't smoke deep though. Like I'll just smoke close. You ready?
Oh yeah, through good I'm using that shit.
Are you doing it now?
I'm getting smoked on top, guys, from the top team.
Just tagging from the bottom side there.
If they make it drop down.
Upgrades to the red Evo though.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Team's still on top. We're good.
Just like to enjoy a gen.
We just want to hug the left corner and walk in this late. There's one team on the bins.
Point.
This a little Phoenix Legacy versus Vex. Little in-home rivalry there potentially.
So Vex on the bottom, or this is bottom side here for Vex.
Siege down the Watson. I think they know exactly where Phoenix Legacy is. Not sure if they want to push it yet. Great setup for the shielding, both on reds, one on gold.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Tyler FPS on
You're
that.
right. You're right.
Matafe holding down kind of the anchor position. on the Watson, just with a charge rifle, showing presence from such a distance. And that's a good reason why they're probably all on red Evo, Stiff.
Yeah, that's really interesting, right? Maestro is out there kind of gunning into an engagement with Horizon, but Vax saw the opportunity to disengage from kind of...
Спина вышла.
Back.
С моей стороны.
Я ультанул на них, жду вас жестко.
Иди на меня. Где стоят, Кирюх?
У меня вот здесь на Котличе.
Понял. У них зоны не будет. Они снизу, скорее
Я
всего.
ультанул на них, возможно. Не вижу их сейчас. Тогда они с нижними запиздятся. На ХГ не пускайте.
Да, не под нами. Лева, стой на доме, Лева.
Каком
Вот на этом, вот это забери быстрее. Эти снизу клопы, это наши враги.
Где примерно?
Под нами.
Под нами рампарт, слышите, это рампарт под нами.
Да, фул под нами играет. Кирюха, не могут зайти. Они подходу заходят.
Заходят? Нет, скажи.
Да, собираются.
Отойдите на меня.
Нет, зоны у тебя нету.
Окей.
Они волтапают.
Я держу
Ага, 50 одному дал.
Дал стан. Просто двигайте.
Мне моменталку закинули. Да, блять.
Одно хп, чел один.
They'll be able to get inside though. They just have somebody pushing up on the bottom floor.
Я хилюсь.
Я убегаю, да. Я убегаю.
Блять, я не убегу.
Who's that pushing?
They all around. Okay, stay by.
They're dying.
Look at my ping too, there's a guy just running around in circles to hit top.
Yeah, no, big fight. Sorry, I'm shooting
Okay,
that.
I'm looking to I have scout now.
I got a kill there. Just
Alright,
be
Matafe,
careful of
big
this fucking
chillin'.
crypto team. This is fucking Kashera. They're gonna walk up on a timing.
Yeah, they will make a play. Yeah.
Just keep, like, you have bottom floor fence, but just be careful for these fuckers.
Yeah. They might EMP and then get in.
Yeah.
I think.
Like, I'm trusting you guys now that you have everything under control. I'm just turning around and shooting, trying to get the
I'm just under chilling right now. Close the doors here.
He's not really actually taking any big shots. He's just more pop shot across the way. There's just not really anything much else going on.
Where does Valko thing from?
Bro, they're literally actually watching the same thing. Oh no, they're watching Alliance.
I think someone else is looting. Pretty sure they all died.
Where the fuck we're trying to get to, by the way? Below or in here? No, that's bad. Downstairs? Do we do that downstairs thing or no?
Vicky, what are your guns? What are your guns?
R9 longbow.
Just take the car. Take the car.
Okay.
I can run R9 car.
Yeah, we need to stay away from this side now because it's Kraber there.
Yeah, we can play underneath in the water as well. We have ramparts. Like, just look for anything. Yeah. We just need to find anything. Like, we can play this spot, water, anything. Anything that's free. Try to find anything. Do it for me. Do it for me right here.
Let me know when.
You let them know.
Yeah. Just
It's 0.
Let it fly, baby.
2 or 3 seconds. 3 seconds is fine. 3 seconds safe.
Go,
We're on the very edge.
go.
3 seconds. No. Let's go. We'll play far out. The zone moves fast.
Look for anything free. Anything free.
Okay.
Yeah, just pumping this when you see something.
Left side looks clear. This side looks clear, guys. No?
What about?
No, it's Kraber.
No.
What about this?
Yeah. I think we look for. There's some walls there, but. Yeah, go
Nope.
for it.
I'm going there.
Go for it.
They're gonna drop low. Nope, there's someone in there.
I can't go inside. I'm in.
Oh, dude.
Break it.
Alliance is in such a tough spot, dude.
Get on me. Save on me. Save on me. Come in.
They're gonna have a team right above them, though.
Yeah.
On stairs.
They do have the rampart walls that they can set up.
Use my shields.
Yeah, shot from far.
Play the middle. Nothing else.
Yeah.
We're gonna find the play room.
Okay.
Look on me! Come Ruben, look down!
Yeah.
Fighting on us below!
Yeah, fence behind us, Tape.
Yeah, I'm fencing now. Good call.
I'm looking for
They're
it.
below here. I'm smoking the right side, Andre, so you can pick up.
Under us.
Yeah, I'm looking down now.
And of course, as soon as I switch over to them, there's no fighting going on.
I'm getting angles, okay?
Peek? Yeah, I'm gonna peek to him.
Right, the ball is right there.
Go back to Vexed.
Come back.
Ollie.
They're bottom floor, careful. I'm fencing off the inside part of the bottom floor.
They're not gonna push on them at all. So Vex knows that they have Alliance underneath them?
I'm watching bottom floor is really scared. They're not looking at all. They're all the way back.
That's Matafe gonna take a quick look. Remember, that's Alliance.
Coming up now.
We might play, look at this. We might get shots on this. Just look here. There's still a team down here, okay? I don't know how many is this down here.
I'm queuing it.
I'm fencing a roof, guys. Watch out for Alliance walk-ups, like climb-ups and shit.
Vex is in a solid spot here.
Flash here. Dog flying. Watch out, Effect might want to get
Did you have some good, obviously high ground?
We keep playing roof so we get kills. Fuck top floor.
Just watch out for the Valk, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joining on me, popping ult tech.
Somebody's losing down here right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick it with you, Andre. Ready?
Guys, listen. 20 seconds. All these people have to move.
0-100. Coming back up, Andre. Go back.
Let's come up, guys. Fuck it. No risk now. We can have guaranteed top 3, please. Listen, all of these people have to move.
Command center only lets me have like a couple different windows.
So like play
until we
the
get
top
to
and
this
just
point.
shoot down. That's all you do.
Yeah.
Do you need ultex for Bengal, Tyler?
No, I still have everything.
Okay.
They're gonna go crawl, look at the car, flash. On my ping right here. Literally stay on that corner. Octis, look at my ping right now.
I'm marking you. I have the car.
Crack 1.
Crack 2 on the car. Keep watching left, below us and shit.
Yeah, looking below now.
Let's watch. You might want to come up last second, okay?
I got blank smoke, not my smoke.
I'm playing with
Let's
you.
not let them come through.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They're fighting below probably.
Yeah, they are.
Ooh.
Still a guy in car, still people in car.
Able to just light him up there. Start a fight out. Vex just gets a big vibe because they can look over at all these fights right now.
Look, Tyler, go look with him.
Downstairs, down one.
He dropped.
Nice. Keep
90 across the way, nice.
One is inside.
Yeah, good job. Okay. Top floor or what?
No, yeah, top floor here.
Yeah, let's swing in together. Come.
I'm owing deep.
I'm going in. Oh,
I'm into.
I'm the shit.
Nice.
Fighting bottom right
Guys,
now.
let's go bottom. We have to rotate.
Yeah, ready?
We look to
Look on me.
Yeah.
One sec.
I'm shooting this guy here in the open. Banga, alone.
Ooh.
They're fighting under.
Yeah, go under. Look under. No,
Oh,
I fucked up. You said they're fighting under. My bad.
Yeah. I mean, they're aware. But...
Thing though. Okay, we have a duo above us now. Shooting us through the stairs, by the way. Shooting through the stairs.
Mobby.
I'm gonna refence for you guys.
Yeah. Just focus everything outside now, Yuki.
Okay.
You can leave that door, but focus everything else outside.
Did they get the banner?
Yeah, they did, I think.
No, I can't leave that door. I'm just gonna leave it one there.
We have to gatekeep Logan.
So Alliance knows that they have the team behind them they have to worry about, but they also have the team across the way from them that's looking at them. I think there's also an additional teams that are left as well.
I'm gonna scare people now.
They're welcoming mouse.
Okay, that's fine. That's good.
Hold Logan.
Hold
I'm
it.
taking space here.
Yeah, watch out for the team on the left, bro.
Giving you this wall.
Break the MP.
I cannot.
Can't see it.
Hold the team Logan, they're gonna come. Doing this.
Good Kia.
They're
Give you another wall.
No, one shot.
Nice.
Drop and kill him.
They're just in such a
Okay.
spot. Oh.
Knock 2.
Oh my god!
Sheesh.
There's Bengal somebody.
Pop the back.
Let's knock. That's a trade.
Go.
Go. I can't see shit.
I killed one team.
Alliance wins for free.
Last one. All dead.
Let's go, boys!
GG's.
Let's go!
Big end game.
That's what I'm talking about!
Yuki with the pure joy of dropping with a Sheila.
Let's go, baby. Good fucking
What a game from Alliance. What a performance here in Game 4.
I'm just curious how everyone that is watching this feels about it. Do we have Rampart enjoyers out there?
I mean, Rampart's been top 4 now a couple times.
Every time I hear that Sheila kind of ramp up, I'm running, and you can't run on this, but I'm having trauma associated with that Sheila noise, and Yuki is just out there. We saw when they were taking that building positioning, Rain Day, they kind of flew in from the Valcolt. He kicks in the door. The first thing you have out is his Sheila just ready to destroy all the fences.
I know, I loved it. It was, I mean, just a great moment. I felt like I was watching a little bit of Terminator or something, but we got to say, they certainly terminated the rest of that lobby. Let's bring Vicky back in. She's been taking a break, but watching this one, Vicky, Rampart comes through.
But Rampart's always kind of had a special...
This could be the counter to this meta that we've been seeing.
First off, that first game on Storm Point was great. I'm all up for the chaotic 50-50s. By the way, KCP came out on top after that one. But
right, like,
my
I mean,
goodness, the Rampart. You guys asked for
it's always
Rampart
had a special
enjoyers.
part.
I know Dia is somewhere plotting out here. I know he's happy. I know he likes the Rampart. I know he likes the Watson. But my goodness, Alliance have found the answer. They came out in second place, game number 3, and then take the dub on top of that for game number 4. So you already know that they are reaping the benefits off of using that Rampart.
Yeah, and it's building space where there isn't space, right? It's building cover and creating zones. It's exactly what the Watson does. But there's this unique element of the Sheila, which, Tiff, you keep mentioning. That's this incredible offensive firepower that directly helps them counter what is being basically the deterrent for all these other teams of what Catalyst is slowing people down and forcing them to do. Rampart has given them another way to look at things, and it's been great to see. I think it's even surprised me. I thought 3 games for sure. Surprised they're playing it for a 4th game. They might play it all 6 games here, and why not?
I think so. I think they need to keep doing it. I mean, you think back, we talk about the Dark Veil, the cat ult, the cat wall. They were able to spray and pray that Sheila through the wall and take out KCP over on World's Edge. So you saw the value in it there. We saw the amped cover value in that end game. And
I'm getting kind of hungry. I just feel as if you kind of have to trust
Hackis at this point, right? I was talking to some members of Alliance yesterday, and they were like, this is his choice to kind of implement the Rampart and try to utilize it to try and
2 more games left.
Some of the slowdown nature that you called out.
Then we'll be able to take a little bit of a break.
Dark Veil, it slows you down by 15% if you walk through it and you're blinded for 7 seconds. I'm slowed down, blinded, and now I've got a Sheila coming at me. Like
that's not a good combo. No, slowed down, blinded, and a Sheila. That's, I mean, you know, it's not. I don't think anybody wants to deal with that. I certainly don't. And I also think too, like, let's just be realistic about this element. Everyone is trying different things, but whenever you see something work, then it adds another layer of legitimacy. When it was all just talk. When it was talk and it was an idea, it's one thing. When it's actually cemented in winning, and maybe even now on the course of winning day 1, that's a story. But is it more of a story too of the alliance?
The top of the scoreboard is interesting.
We talked about Super Sub Mandy, but it was always about how good
1
this
point
young
separates the
was,
top
fitting in
3.
with Yuki, fitting in with Hockeys. Yuki got even better at LAN. Hockeys has been one of the top players, and now Effect showing up right where we expected it. This alliance is scary. And as we take a look here at these highlights as well, I mean, Tiff, this was also a game that ended with a lot of
girls
teams
can't figure out who
knowing
takes the
where that
lead
zone
off of
was
Brain.
early and setting up.
Yeah, I think that's kind of mission critical, right? You've got the controller legends out there, that
second time they've done
class
that.
gives you the ability to scan ring consoles, and
Third time
talking to
they've done that.
Sabs, that's what they were talking. Their Storm Point gameplay, land checkpoint, scan a ring console, make that early rotation move, and it's been paying dividends for Phoenix Legacy, who have been making those early rotations. And then Graceful, kind of shining some light onto Vex playstyle, more so into the roles of playing that heavy zone on Storm Point, and the ability for them to keep out all the other teams. And it just goes to show you how strong that really is, Vicky, and it's just been a joy to see.
Yeah, I believe they had like 11 KP by the end of that game, but their positioning was fantastic, cleaning up one after the other. Well, look at this. It looks like a work of art. Picasso up with the Watson pylons up on the high ground. Alliance then coming in from the low ground. But talking about position, it was Alliance that not only put their backs against the wall of that same building without having to overcommit, but they secured it. This is terrifying too. You know that Sheila's coming out from Yuki. You know anybody that's underneath this ground is going to be in the line of sight of that Rampart. And Morningstar's also being able to really come out on top after this game. But again, Alliance with their timing on the third party is what allowed them to secure the final game.
It was tough too, seeing Vex try to make that run. When they lost Matape, that was really the issue. So they had to fight it as a 2. And then this is where we actually saw, I want to say it wasn't SMS. It might have been Start a Fight. Yes, it was. Die. And so it was a tough spot. That rock really wasn't a lot of room to hold. And you could see here in match 4, there was a big showcase for Alliance in their composition. But I don't want to just make that the story. We know Effect is back. We know they're playing a new comp. Morningstars have a nice pop-off game, a game we hadn't really expected from them. They're showing up here. Vex Gaming continued to improve. In fact, 2nd place overall in terms of points. But again, Phoenix Legacy, Dynasty, good showings from them on the day. And as we take a look at our bottom 10, it will give us an idea of maybe who had a tough Storm Point. Pioneers, I thought they had a tough one, but again, 6 points, 2 back-to-back fights. Didn't work out with Vex, but they will be okay. It's really a sin, Tiff, I'm looking at. Game of Drones, who have gone out really early as well. Danish, Eternal, who had a great game before. Maestro, too, kind of fell off here. Can they keep some consistency heading into game 5 and 6?
It's really tough when you see Ascend kind of on that lower half of kind of the series or the match results, right? You think about the team that, in a sense, in Split 1 Pro League season, it was the most consistent team out of EMEA. So to find them having a little bit of struggle here, trying to adapt and keep up with the way that people are playing, you know, they are still on that Watson crypto, and it's tough, right? Typically it would be really, really strong for them, but moving into these legend changes, it may not be kind of paying off for them just yet.
But it's a great point that you mentioned too, like things can change with the legend changes. They can be negative, but they can also be positive, and they can give someone a little bit of room to run that they wouldn't have had before had the meta been so consistent. Maestro, Eternal, Phoenix Legacy, those are my 3 standouts today of teams that I think are showing a lot of improvement here and really questioning and challenging for that top 5. Of course, we've got some of the leaders in the lobby, from Alliance, from Fire Beavers to KCP. They know what they're doing. They're at the top. Can anybody stop them? We got our first Rampart win in Split 2, and it was a fun one. Will Alliance go back-to-back, or will someone else take down the throne? We'll find out as Game 4, just finished, and Game 5 and 6 are coming at you. WD Black, the official storage partner of the Apex Legends Global Series.
Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the Apex Legends Global Series. Welcome back, everyone. It is the Apex Legends Global Series, match day number 1 for the EMEA region. I'm SpiderTip, joined alongside me is Vicky Kitty, my co-caster for the day. We are bringing you all the action, and we've got 2 more maps on Storm Point for you, and it's kind of crazy to think back on the journey that we've kind of had thus far, Vicky.
Yeah, it's also crazy to see how a lot of these teams on the lower half of the overall leaderboards were able to rise up after that one game of Storm Point. That does highlight how some of these teams feel a lot more comfortable on one map versus the other, what that could do in the overall standings. I mean, Morning Stars, before that game, I believe they were sitting all the way in 20s. Now have moved their way up to 10th after getting second.
2 more games,
so how is this going to shake things up as we still have 2 more games on Storm Point for the day?
Yeah, you look back at Fire Beavers, they kicked off map number 1 with 30 points on World's Edge, and that's kind of been carrying them forward at the top of the leaderboard. But moving into the last 2 maps of the day, that's not going to keep them there. They're going to have to show out and do something in match 5 or 6 to keep on the very tippity top, which is exactly where they want to be. But teams like Alliance, they finished second on a map in World's Edge, now finally getting that first map win, a 21-point game. They're doing what they need to do. You're right. Things are starting to heat up. They're learning the lobbies and the play styles of all these people. We know we can't account for scrims and how things are going to work out, but I mean, this is the experience that we needed.
It's absolutely huge, and we actually do have another Western Circle. May not be jumping all the way up towards North Pad by those rocks, but this is going to be an interesting one because of all the water in the middle. Sometimes the Prowler Den there to actually try to grief you too if you're in the middle of trying to rotate. Probably. But we saw what happened between Dynasty, KCP. They're going to start making the rotation on the other side of Mill. They're going to be able to also get some information on where the players are currently located on the rest of this map before they decide where they want to rotate. Fire Beavers being another one to have access to that information are going to be able to rotate out of Cenote Caves as well as using that replicator to their south.
split loot, or are they going to actually
really
contest
tough.
up there?
I mean, you've got Dynasty that lands technically, quote unquote, that bean-esque area, that mountain that's shaped like a little bit of a jelly bean that some people have coined that POI's name. They have the IMC Armory there and a beacon as well. And with KCP at the mill kind of already starting that rotation out, which is interesting because knowing that Phoenix Legacy is an early rotating team, they're making their way to the south straight into KCP. But let's jump on board with our map 4 winners of Alliance. You know their drop spot POI is Lightning Rod. They've kind of not changed anything here. It's a really interesting POI. Such good loot. You have crafting for the most part. Yeah, right there. Ring console available to them. And in a top-down map from north to south, the rotations from northern POIs are so much easier.
Oh yeah, especially when you have a Valkyrie too with that Skyward Dive, could cover so much land. I remember that before Valkyrie Skyward Dive was nerfed in terms of the distance, she was able to cross that entire east side of Lightning Rod through the rocks, and you will find yourself right back in fish farms. Still could cross a lot of distance even coming out of that north side, but Alliance have a bit of ways to go here. They can start making the rotation from Lightning Rod all the way to the west side. Know that SMS is in that direction, I believe, to the right side of wall. A lot of other squads already making the rotation on the edge of that next circle.
I just love looking at the Seer heirloom. Just, you were talking about it earlier, how they kind of cut off the rows. Just super beautiful here, but 2R1C, they've actually elected to put Utako on the rampart as well. So typically we saw, you know, in split 1, it was Aurora breaking out Catalyst before people even in NA started to question it. But now Yuki on the rampart, 2R1C on the rampart, using that amped cover to fortify the building just on the outskirts of the IMC Armory. It's so much easier to shoot through this, having the rampart on your team, because tell me how annoying it is trying to find like a good headshot through a wall, because you have to destroy the wall first.
Yeah, not only that, I feel like I'm just living out my nightmare. Meanwhile, Kashera is popping off in the feed, making sure to get that dirty onto Alpha Draft here. But 2R1C is a team that's currently sitting in 13th overall after their performance on World's Edge in that first game on Stormpoint in game number 4. And look who's coming through. Tip, you highlighted it perfectly with Rain Day. Vex Gaming is such a scary team overall, but even scarier on Stormpoint. They managed to take this building right now, and they're just trying to see if anybody's hiding right now here too. If they didn't pick up anybody, it looks like they got this entire building cleared out now. They could see what's happening on the other side of the army. It was Ascend that was actually neighboring them. They could see that they have already lined up the walls underneath with the Watson fences, but Ascend is not going to be moving
what are
anywhere.
we
They do
listening
really like
to?
hanging out in that building, especially if there's sometimes a circle beacon that they could use. I'm not too sure if there is one right there, but Kashira gets another knock with the Sentinel. He's been on fire so far with this.
Oh, this is not good if you are Fire Beavers or a fan of them, because they're on the outskirts of the IMC Armory. And right now, Kashera with that Sentinel are just absolutely punishing them. We saw just how getting that opening knock, and Kashera is just taking his drone out there to find some more information, or maybe to EMP them and kind of deter them from getting healthy again. There goes the EMP, very unfortunate. And you gotta watch Lufka, right? Putting him on the about allows him to kind of go forward and
who's up here?
maybe
Sab's already down.
grab
Tough.
some damage, return back to where the Watson is and kind of anchoring that position. But he should have the ability to kind of poke out, find damage, go back in.
Especially with his playstyle too. We talked about it a little bit when we highlighted Ascend. You can see their vision getting blocked out by the Bangalore that's on the other side of the building by Vex. You got the Digi-Threat though in the hands of Kashera, and with the way that Lufka plays, very aggressive but get pulled back immediately. And what better legend to have Lufka on than Valkyrie,
we hear
especially when you want to rely on the Skyward
sound
Dive in case you want to reposition.
of
but
another
I think Ascend has his not just locked down, but they have a really good prediction
This
on where
is
the
really
circle's
throwing
going to
me
be
off.
pulling. And in the case that it still pulls more so to the north side, by where they're going to be rotating past the mill, they could try to take a 50-50 rotation, maybe take a more back-end rotation towards the line of sight of Barometer.
Yeah, and I mean, just looking at Vex, changing up their legend composition, moving into Stormpoint, it shows you, because it's going to allocate with their playstyle. You're pulling one of your fragging members off of Catalyst and putting them on Bangalore, which is going to allow them to find free. But LCDF, they are in trouble right now, losing out on one member. Now, Yolu and Aimbot are kind of trying to navigate this wall here. We knew there was an early contest, but now they're trying to make that rotation, and a lot of teams have congested here, able to grab the banner tagged up.
Oh, it's because I'm hearing it from somewhere else. Where's that from? Hey, yo, no. For real, where's that from? Because that's from none of these guys.
Otherwise, that they're not going to go for that. They're just going to end up rotating far away. Is Game of Thrones going to chase them? Is that the call? Because they're right next to that next circle, and they can hold this north side away from other teams that may be rotating away from north side or checkpoint.
I mean, Game of Thrones lands at the wall, so they're still going to be just in this vicinity, sitting on triple blue. They do have a good chunk of health available to them, and the zone isn't too far behind them. So they have the wherewithal to kind of stay.
Jump on board with Vex here, chat.
They're inside. I see people inside. Knocking.
Tafe's putting in some good shots across the way. Only problem is he's kind of separated from the rest of his team, so we can't help him right away on this push. But he should be able to swap out now and come in full health and try and apply pressure.
No, go back.
Nah, they're in the back down, actually.
I still think there is knocks, though.
Yeah, it is. There's one.
Can you just pop a med kit and let's go back?
I have no med kits. Popping some med
Here.
I have one med kit.
Coming.
I'm gonna look.
Ready for purple.
Fire Beavers in the fight over here as well, looks like.
Чисто маленький, почти не тратьте. Машина едет.
Машина едет за нами. За Джан Тавер.
На ХГ.
С той стороны. Тут снизу типы опять ингейджат. Слышите, дом, посмотрите. Тройка на первом, заклипните кого-то нахуй уже. Первый. Дверь. Стоит на двери до сих пор. Дверь до сих пор.
Вальганулись еще. Это в нас?
Нет, вроде. Я хилюсь.
Это вниз снова, что ли?
Я хилюсь. Не спешите, ребят.
Я вам скан даю,
Хуйню не делаем, выигрываем. Окей? Поняли?
Их убили.
Да, окей.
У нас еще приземлились рядом, они не в сейве, кто отвлекался.
А где они? Куда приземлились?
Где-то здесь.
Машина опять, Jump Tower. 285, ребят.
По ХП.
По мясу ему хуярю.
Бока посматривайте, что я могу не доставать сканом.
Дигитал есть кого?
Ресет кого-то.
Дигитал нет.
Нет, дигитала.
А, чуваки на ресалку, походу. У нас вот тут застаканная Beavers,
Is there anybody else in a fight we want to watch? No.
Can immediately plop down another and
plop back over to the
knowing
main.
that they've played Watson and Crypto so often, it was just beautifully done. Now they're going to go ahead and stick the res off onto Lufka, try to get them back, and a plethora of loot available for Lufka to get back up to speed.
I'm not over the last fight. That was absolutely insane. Amazing placements of the Watson fences there to block out the rotation through the stairs, even the gen being up there. That's why they didn't want to send out the grenades yet there too, but that was even better for Ascend in that case because the grenades would have just spelled doom for what was left of Kashera too. So now we get to tune into what's going on the other side of the map. Game of Drones. They've successfully made the rotation away from the wall after pressuring out that previous squad that we were able to see earlier. Now they're going to be able to next plan where they want to rotate through that next choke point. But look how many teams have already taken real estate inside some of these buildings. So many contested spots right here to the south side of Mill.
I mean, look, this is going to be really tough, and there's a lot of different kind of ending games here that typically pull to an open position. So very, very tough. In Horizon Union, I kind of like chilling here, but the horrible part about being here for too long, or all the teams that are going to be rotating in from the north side, and they're just going to be collapsing around you. You can get a lot of information, maybe try to get some eyesight onto them, but at what point do you...
Bro, I have to stare this side of the map.
You need to get a new PC, no capskis.
I do, bro.
Bro's having problems on the different parts of the map. Not like this, my guy.
Really utilize a building to try and reinforce that.
Squads, though, taking their time and playing on the outside of these buildings, playing on top of this hillside like Horizon Union. They're getting pinged by a squad in the distance with the 30-30, but holding this spot early could be doomed for the teams that are in the middle of rotating to the south side of that map through that choke point, because you could find yourself pinched. Foot Esports, though, has other plans, and they're taking their ride right into the outside of Mill, playing from the outside of the circle, but at least have the safety of the inside of these Mill buildings before they manage to reset.
Yeah, Foot Esports on your screen, still just on the outskirts of the Mill. Like you said, they're kind of making their way through. We haven't really gotten to see too much action out of them. Noth and Taylor, you know, in split 1 they had played with Kuya. They brought in Liffin here for split 2.
I do like where KCP's at.
I just want to see more. It's hard, right? When we're on the broadcast, we see what is in front of us only, and it's kind of like, what have they been doing off screen that might have shown this success to this teamwork? But excited to see what happens on this engagement with Danish, right? Sitting on triple purple, just kind of waiting on that outer edge. And if you get on the high ground here at the mill, it is so tough to take a fight against someone on height.
Seafoot Esports having to reset themselves, maybe trying to barricade the door. There you go from Noth. He's going to try to pop the med kit. Seer ult for Seer ult. This is what we see right now from Seer always. It's Danish that has the high ground. You're talking about the high ground advantage right now. See the Horizon Q coming in too from the other side. Just waiting to see for an opportunity if they could get on the high ground here, but it was Danish that took the high ground first over the squad that's playing on the low ground. They're inside that next circle now.
Black hole
with
coming
the entry of the black hole, it's gonna
only
be able
gets
to pull
one.
everybody inside. Here you go. Take one of these with the Arc Star. He's got the hemlock ready too. Beautiful combination with the Arc Star, but it's a trade for trade on Nox.
I mean, that was really smart. I know I was talking about Horizon kind of being more of a refragger or anchoring type of character now, but Bab is utilizing them as that entry fragger, throwing the black hole in. Frick's going to fall as well. So now Young Hong Kong taking ring damage, definitely needs to focus on prioritizing that heal. At what point do you say, this is kind of chalked and I just need to play my life? You are going to have
Pioneers
the information with that passive, but it's Pioneers making this so incredibly difficult. They walk in and just clean up the likes of food.
Spearing them while
Is
they're
it
out of here
foot or
too,
foot?
cleaning up whatever was left here.
I can push it.
Jump on board the Lions here real quick.
I got you effect, I got you.
He's
Climb me. Crack them.
Oh, no, knock one.
last one under, flash.
Arms up.
Play safe.
He's on the stairs, low ground.
Yeah, can we
Running.
Okay.
I'm chasing.
Fuck him up.
16.
Fuck them up, boys!
Nice, I'm watching our back. I'm taking move.
Care the team behind us.
Yeah.
Doing this building.
Area, they are going to have to fight their way in. Now, granted, with that ring starting to close, I think that moving southward could be the best, or they could elect to go ahead and go around. Oh, will we see a Valk ult here? Let me see here. Effect, what are you going to do? And honestly, I want to watch more of Effect's POV at this point in time.
Yeah, I'm wondering what their next plan is going to be right here, too, especially looking at this weapon load at the Nemesis, the PK at the ready, KCP now holding the high ground of Mill currently right now. Love to see what I'm seeing here for a lot of these squads. And just to highlight what's at stake here, our top 3 squads are incredibly close with one another. You can see Fire, Beavers, Pioneers, Alliance, I believe. Alliance leading the way with 47 points, Pioneers with 45, Fire Beavers with 44. Just to show how close it is so far, looking at where that next map is going to be taking us, Tiff.
Ooh, KCP holding out the Mill. Ascend with Lufka back, still kind of playing this building, but they are going to have to move soon. And now they've got to contend with the teams that are just in front of them. Lufka just ADS prepping to see if someone's going to push down on that staircase, but taking the high ground and having to play from the second story of this building. This is going to be an incredibly tough positioning.
Really tough spot for them to be able to get
out
of. They do have the pylon though, helps them get filled back up a little bit quicker here.
Next move here, they have the information of the crypto drone. Gets destroyed real quick, it looks like right here too, but they're gonna be patient. Look how many shield swaps they have to work with as well. Looking down the stairs, they can hear the rest coming in. What is Ascend gonna do? They toss out the grenade. Obviously out of the line of sight of the jet, so that way you can find at least some sort of space, but they do manage to get the rest. Successful for Dynasty play.
Sitting on board with Fire Beavers here real quick. They're looking over towards, I think that was Mill they were looking at?
Банок вообще не надо вейсить. Я бы вообще пока встал.
Я сижу, меня просто Чуржа отсюда смотрит. Я не хочу, чтобы они забрали ХГ вот это. Там сейчас фулл файты будут. Я бы, кстати, реально волкапнул даже чуть позже.
Я бы не волкапнул, потому что...
Не, я один, наверное. Я один с ХГ поиграю.
Если мы волкапнем, челы снизу пойдут к нам, наверное.
They're in a decent spot. They don't have to leave where they're at when this ring starts closing.
У нас больше углов будет.
So
Главное, пацаны, не
Fire Beavers pretty solid.
Мы играем, как играем всегда. Без очка. These guys. Good nade.
Nasky, also watch this as well. Be careful.
Oh, the nade fucking trajectory fucking
What's
bugging.
up, Del? What's up?
Are you ready to go on this?
No.
No. Timer. We do not go on this. Sane, I need you to play on top of this rock right now, okay? Stop looking at this. Just go to the rock.
Switch my guns?
Yes, if you need to.
I do.
I need you to just hold this and make sure no one comes from the south side. Only me and Della are looking here now.
Okay.
I was gonna say they do have a team on the south side of this ring that they have to worry about, right?
Only Bangalore though. Only Bangalore. On the bin.
Fuck him, sit down. I was saying, fuck them.
Yeah.
Ooh.
140 on top 140.
Going on the rock. I'm going on the rock. Flying up. I'm on the rock, guys.
What are we playing?
Back out on us! Skynade, Skynade, Skynade!
I don't have nades. I don't have nades.
Zero main.
Careful,
They're gonna
though.
get shot in the back. They're gonna get shot in the back.
Yeah.
I'm skynading.
Shining below.
Nice.
Look at that. Big nades, baby. Big nades, baby.
Big nades.
A big nade. 100.
Nice.
I'm nading. I'm gonna keep nading. I'm gonna keep nading. So many fucking nades. So many fucking nades.
Oh, hit him.
Fly up if you can.
I'm in zero. No, I'm in zero. I'm getting shot in my back.
Oh!
I knocked one. I knocked one.
Yeah, but we have to do look. Oh, can we walk right side?
We need to do something. One is knocked still, guys.
Saying
I need you to fly.
I'm flying. I'm flying. I'm going up.
I
I'm getting shot in my
can't.
back. Drop down. Just drop down.
Oh!
Dead because of that.
No, we're chilling.
They're gonna peek down and we're gonna die very soon, guys.
Yeah.
I'm stunned.
They're looking. They're looking. Oh, I'm dead.
Zero jump.
Oh!
All you do. All you do.
Damn.
I need you to pressure. I need you to pressure. I need you to pressure.
Damn, man. That's tough, bro.
We can flip in off east.
Go knock. Take it.
I'm watching left. I'm watching left.
Take the go knock. I dropped it on
That was Alliance who just dropped on them. Let's hang on board with them here real
Can you
quick.
look north east, boys?
I'm healing.
I'm looking east. I'm looking east. I'm looking east. I'm looking east, effect.
Can we 3 PSI?
Seem that-
Can we 3 PSI?
Yeah. This team fucked in there, bro. I'm gonna take height on him.
Yeah.
There's another team on height.
Good work by Alliance.
Wait, slow down. You in this?
Over the med.
Yeah, you in on you.
Almost.
Nice. Hawkins and them gonna be able to turn the corner now.
Southwest. Both of you. Watching your southwest.
It's a big. Oh, big arc stars.
All dead, all dead, all
Coming
dead.
over southwest. Coming over.
Rose.
We might get pinched now.
Are you gonna
I'm
have
batting.
it again? Are you gonna have it again?
Come to me, come to me.
Are you good, Yuki?
I'm watching your southwest. Yeah, I'm going back.
Okay, get a final cell. Final cell for
55 flash.
Ulti cells.
66.
We have to run this in.
I got two.
Nice, pop it.
I want to hang on board with the Alliance here.
Can
Then.
drop you one. I don't need
Yeah,
it.
give me one, give me.
Figure out how they're gonna rotate into this.
Yeah, I think so. I think.
Give me. Fucking controller. Come here, right side.
Oh, we're running in. We're running in.
Yeah, right side. Go right side. Fight the team if you can.
Yeah.
Get into the headies. Get to the headies.
Remember, Alliance is tied in the lead with Fire Beavers right now.
Hold.
They've got themselves quite a few KP here as well.
Yeah, just shoot right side. Shoot right side. Only focus right.
Yeah. One guy behind the bin. I'm batting.
Get to the
He's
rock.
gotta drop. He's gotta drop.
Get to the rock.
He's gotta drop.
This guy in the bins. Two guys.
Wait. Gonna pop this out. Gonna pop this out. Gonna pop this back.
Dead sliding. Fucking shit server. Excuse me, Yuki.
Fucking.
No.
Woo!
That to the team from the fucking building, man.
I almost had them, bro. I almost knocked them.
Damn,
I'm
man.
just fucking dead sliding.
Who's left? Is there anybody that we've got eyes on? Ascend's still in this. Let's hang on board with them.
Just have to be passive.
Ascend's been somewhat quiet this evening.
Let's be careful. There's a guy. There's a full team there. See it? Yeah, I see. Just play a bit to the back, a bit left. Just play a bit to the back. We're fine. We just have to focus on killing the team on our right, okay? I have my EMP ready.
Nobody else is still alive, right? No, Fire Beavers is still alive.
Нет, тебе heavy. Нам вообще не нужны.
Fire Beavers is actually has a nice little spread, as you can see. Trying to see if they can pick up any more KP on the way in towards this circle.
30. Подожди, этот ног?
Нету, по-моему.
Лёва, вот тут ног. А, нет, она... Да, я постреляю. Не вижу их в опане, вижу.
Вот они стоят. Я не смогу, у меня нет патронов.
Все, просто
Слышите, у вас чуть ли не у последних зона уходит. Просто я дам смоук и на фоне зоны сидите. Мы выиграем это дерьмо.
Просто смотри мне левых, Лёва, когда я убью справа сам.
Давай.
Левый, смотрите, чтобы не волкапнули у вас со стенкой. Я сразу ульту им ебло.
У них нету стены, у них нет стены.
Могла откатиться.
Только если ульчардж.
Тут пулик смотрит.
Тут пулик.
So they know they've got one team far down ahead. I think Fire Beavers might honestly have the best position here. They've pretty much got most of everybody all in front of them. Like, they do have to rotate quite a bit, but everybody's all kind of cluttered up together down there. Yeah, once that team starts moving and is out of cover, they need to start pushing up to their left. But they need this team that's down there on the left to be able to not be focused on them.
Фулка,
Oh, actually, that's a really nice.
Им хуёво. С плеча просто ебашь.
Yeah, this is Fire Beaver's game, chat. Yeah, there it is. Big knock here. To start off the last fight. One player's already broken here as well. Fire Beavers just need to turn its corner and be able to clean things up. There it is. Fire Beavers are going to be able to walk away with game number 5. Really big. Or not Fire Beavers. Ascend. No, Fire Beavers. That's just that thing where it says the wrong team at the end. But that was Fire Beavers. Walking away on top.
Rotate right behind them.
Well, I mean, this is a pretty special type thing, guys. I got to say, Fire Beavers do it again. 2 wins on the day. That typically means you're going to be in contention or you're going to win the day. We still have one more game to play, though, and 3 of the other teams that could have won, we're talking about KCP, we're talking about Alliance, were taken down essentially through that Fire Beavers run to give Fire Beavers that god spot. But I got a question. Is it a god spot? Is it really? Or is it just Fire Beavers making it a god spot, Tiff?
I mean, I feel like Fire Beavers are definitely on a mission.
In this type of
probably feeling a little something
and making the situation
not being able to go to land.
That, you know, they seem to be making anything work. And that's the sign of a team that's really, really dangerous in late game.
Yeah, like you would think, right? Alliance making that move onto the rock prior to that zone kind of pulling straight towards Fire Beavers, giving them that high ground, forcing all of the teams below Ascend, 2R1C, Horizon. They had the worst side of the ring pulled. They had to pull directly to Fire Beavers, and they were just sitting there like, okay, we've got this. We know we are confident. Our team synergy is absolutely impeccable. And I was speaking to Oirain, and he was like, yo, we're not working on any micro details. We don't have anything to really improve on. Our team synergy is great. We want an easy qual to land. We're going to win the regular season, and then we're going to win playoffs and champs. They were so confident, and look at today.
Listen, they were confident enough to, when we interviewed them last split, they trolled us, okay? So that's telling you that it's confidence right there. Let's go ahead to the highlights and see this game unfold from the beginning to the end, because it was a great game. I thought it might have been Alliance's, Vicky, to lose after they took down KCP with the ridiculous amount of KCP grenades that they had to withstand. They somehow do, but it ended up being Fire Beavers all along. Walk me through the start of this game, because Ascend was even involved here until the final moment.
I think what was tough there is Nasky wanted help pushing up onto that rock.
I believe it was Vex who had landed
and it just wasn't possible, even with the Valkyrie. Leave yourself wide open.
Fences. This was insane. I was sitting on the edge of my seat, gripping my seat at the same time,
you know,
and it was crazy to see how they wanted to try to push into that. But the amazing counterplay from Kashera and company was able to really clutch out that fight. Pioneers 2, perfect timing on the third party. They cleaned up what was left of those 2 squads there too. Alliance, I thought, was able to carry on that momentum to the very end. But it's what Tiff said. When you have the Rampart, the Seer, and the Valkyrie, at this point in time, what do? You don't have a Bangalore to close in that gap between themselves and Fire Beaver. They don't have a Catalyst Wall to block the vision of what Fire Beaver was looking at. Meanwhile, Fire Beaver, like game number 1 when they won, played right into their strength with the Bangalore smoke. Beautiful stick right there too from Alliance. They were looking fantastic, but it's just an unfortunate rotation that put themselves in a very vulnerable situation against Fire Beavers.
Could you have Skyward Dove? Is there somewhere to go to buy some time? It probably was just stuck between a rock and a hard place, or stuck between a bang and a beaver there, and as Tiff likes to say. And I think agreed. Fire Beavers really didn't close it out though, and this is
between a what and a what?
To me, Ascend were not in a bad spot. I think they made the right decision. They took out as many kills and got KP, having to face Horizon Union, but Fire Beavers, they did not let them slip. Bang ultimate hits from Taskmaster, from It 9 Impulse, Taskmaster, OJ Rain, ready to follow up with the EVA 8s immediately. No chance for Ascend to even respond, and that'll do it. 2 games, 1 out of 5 for Fire Beavers, and that has put them in a great position heading into game 6. First place, we'll have to see, but Tiff, so far so good with 20 points in that one.
I mean, look, that's not bad at all. I feel like if you can hit to the upper 20s, or like once you get into the 20s for a win, it's
all right, let's
great.
see if we've got updated scoreboards here yet.
You mentioned all the eliminations that Ascend was able to pick up. They went out in second and almost just as many points as Fire Beavers, but you can't even not talk about Horizon Union and Alliance. The skyward dive play that they made to push on to Morningstar.
Yeah, so I think I'm actually going to shut the stream down just a little bit before NA.
8 eliminations, so 12 points.
We have one more
game at all.
I think what I'm going to do is once the game is done, I'm gonna shut down the stream during like the post game stuff. Take a break from the lights, and it will pop live about 20 minutes before
Phoenix Legacy. Teams that have had little moments.
NA starts.
Vex, kind of more consistent. Reply Totem, really nice early game coming in second place. Phoenix Legacy, a good mid game in between that last game of World's Edge and first game of Stormpoint. Didn't put it together in game 5. That is crucial, and it has led us to our series results here. For those of you watching at home, you want to know where it stands. It's Fire Beavers. Number 1 right now, 8 points in the lead over Alliance. Vicky, talk to me. 1 game left, and it's pretty tight up top, but Fire Beavers making some space for themselves.
And they could at least breathe, but not to get too comfortable.
Yeah, they don't want to get too comfortable.
Before game number 5, Fire Beavers and Alliance, I believe, were tied with 43 points each. Even with Alliance cleaning up the KP that they were able to get for game number 5, Fire Beavers, with that dub and the KP to their name, has now been able to create that distance between themselves and second place where Alliance sits. But still, top 5, Vex Gaming, Maestro Gaming, tied 37 points. Eternal right behind him with 36. This is looking incredibly tight for our 4th to 8th place squads that we currently see right now, but Fire Beavers have built up that gap between themselves and the rest of the lobby behind Pioneers.
Well, it's Fire Beavers with an 8-point lead above second, a 17-point lead above third, and even more above 4th and 5th. Can anyone catch them? Well, it'd be up into the hands of KCP and Alliance to try to do so. And they've got only 1 more game to prove the point. Will we see the off meta? Either way, whether it's Fire Beavers skipping out on the Catalyst and running with their choice, or if it's the Rampart from Alliance making a huge statement on the biggest stage of the ALGS win, we'll find out when Game 6 comes to you right after this.
Sorry, can you guys repeat that? What can I...
I just wasn't expecting you to be like right there.
WD Black, the official storage partner of the Apex Legends Global Series.
All right.
5 games down.
One more game, chat.
To go. It is match day number 1 for EMEA here at the Apex Legends Global Series. I'm SpiderTiff. This is Vicky Kitty, and we've had the pleasure of calling all the action here thus far.
Done around
and it has been
4:30-ish.
an absolute fun thing
like
to
I said,
do,
I'll shut off the lights
all
when
the season 16 changes. It's been a
when the
wild one.
game's done.
I am a big fan of what we are seeing from these
then we'll
Ramparts.
pop back live
I feel like it's going to
5:40-ish.
spread. You know, we already saw it starting off with Yuki. Uchaku joined right afterwards. I mean, how many more of these Demon Ramparts am I about to see in these lobbies? I don't know, but I am here for it. I'm in disbelief. But the squad that has been finding the most success is a team not running the Catalyst, running the Bangalore, the Seer, and the Valkyrie. It's Fire Beavers out here, leading the way with 63 points overall, with Alliance right on their tails at 55 points.
Last drop,
Well,
chat.
here is going to be the deciding factor.
Fire Beavers
right?
up by
Already
8
so
currently
close.
over Alliance.
Something to note is
KCP still technically in striking distance if they were to have a game like their game
and
2.
The scores are relatively low. No one's really breaking into the hundreds like we had saw in like split 1 regular season. We had some days where at one point I think 120 something was the max someone had received. That just goes to show you the level of balance that these teams are kind of challenging each other. And a lot of those teams that wouldn't have technically been deemed the powerhouses are stepping up.
Also love to see the consistency out here. Alliance still being able to come out on top, second overall, as we get to take a look at our squads making their last landing for the day here on Storm Point. Start a fight. It looks like already trying to start a fight out here. Somebody right underneath them right here, and already a purple Evo shield. Nice Evo shield to pick up off of the rip.
This is how you do it. Danish on the underside of the building here in Cascades. It's a really
Danish start a fight.
Interesting POI to have that 50-50 contest on, playing around these buildings and the windows.
Is Alliance
and
also
trying to
our
navigate it.
Fire Beavers
Having
around
Lackey
there? Or am I
on
tripping?
that horizon is going to be, I mean, that Valk is going to be nice, but Danish taking to the skies and trying to find an early opening knock, and they're going to do just that.
That was disgusting off of the grenade here too, but Danish falling incredibly low, so is Lucky. Oh, he gets stuck with the bar. He tries to get away. He tries to fly away. Wicked is right behind him. This fight is lasting a lot longer than they were expecting.
It's rather dangerous to have a long-lasting early fight. We've seen the teams talk about that. Now you've got the G7 Scout and a Spitfire. You've got some damage there, and as soon as that player drops down, they're going to be able to grab that knock on the light. You just have one sliver of health and a blue shield to try and navigate this in a 1v1. Young Hong Kong going to take to the insides and try to heal, but that EVA 8 getting reloaded. He's going to go ahead, maybe thirst to get a shield swap, but play the knockdown. But that Spitfire, no way.
What a weapon to pick up off of Rip, okay? We know we talk about some of these weapons that are so good to pick up off of Rip, but this is what we were worried about. A fight taking this long off the very beginning is going to welcome the third party. I believe it was Bambino coming in right now. Maestro also coming out on top of the 50-50, making a little bit of a statement. You know, if it's not the tactical crouching, it's about releasing your inner gladiator out here. They're getting pinged, though, by a charge rifle out in the distance. And how chaotic is this final game looking like right now, Tiff? 17 squads left, and the first circle just started closing.
I just feel as if the players are starting to get a little bit antsy in a way, and they're just kind of ego-challenging certain things. And honestly, the Storm Point map series has been a lot more aggressive than the ones that we had witnessed on World's Edge. So been very, very fun. Look at the circle over there towards that right side. Still kind of pulling. You can see where Phoenix Legacy has made their way over towards that IMC armory on the outskirts of North Pad and just like to the southwest of the wall. That could be where the zone is deciding to pull.
See Vex also making their quick rotate right past Cascade Falls, seeing if they could find out the last straggler out here. Looking at where the circle is going to be pulling more towards the north. I'm expecting that choke point that is to the east side of checkpoint to get congested very quick. Phoenix Legacy, a team that usually plays patient, usually ready to bunker down right now. I believe.
Let's see if we got anybody else in a fight here currently.
Yes, you can see it right there with 29 points. They're looking to try to secure at least some extra KP to put themselves up in the overall leaderboard.
It's a Rampart team, guys.
Oh,
fuck. Alright, so Vex.
I think we should be playing aggressive on them, not the other way.
Yeah, it's 2 rats, 1 controller. It's not Alliance. I'm destroying the first window.
MP. I have ult tech.
Yeah, I have for you. Come to me.
So they pointed out that it was the Rampart, but they're also able to call out that it was not Alliance here.
I think that sooner or later we should look like...
I'm gonna look place from them, okay? I'm gonna go bottom right now.
Yeah, just bully them. You guys...
I'm just gonna...
Need to push in.
I'm just...
I can't.
Jump in here.
I have to run now.
Oh, this isn't good.
Just survive with them.
It's gonna be them going down.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing they're gonna be able to do here. Jump back on board with Vex. It actually looks like they are in the middle of this fight. They're gonna be pushing into 2R1C.
Guys, they're a fighter right now. We could swing left and just get a spot there. Or like get to this spot.
It's probably a smart call to back away from this fight, honestly. Knowing that you got people around you here.
Yeah, let's just keep listening for fights. If they fight, go. But the problem is these guys are gonna swing on us with fucking Sheila. This is not good.
At some point.
Yeah, they need to just push out, honestly.
He's just holding it.
Yeah, we need to get the fuck out of here ASAP. Like, we need to look for a fight and then join it on the left.
I don't know. What if I have Valkyrie? We can run back to checkpoint maybe and then Valkyrie. I don't know.
Not one here.
And I just thought about Loopy's not doing the.
They might send now off of that.
Isn't doing the
Knock. Stay alive.
Observing because he's Vex's coach now.
Oh my
my goodness!
Hey, go top.
Just absolutely shit on.
Looking for the other team.
Dude, it was not a fatty or what? Suck my dick, dude. Clip that shit. Oh my god. I hit a fatty thermite. There ain't no fucking. Jesus. Oh my god. I can't be fucking Kobe Bryant, bro. Jesus. Oh my. Dude. Oh my god. I might have to pull out a Gwitty for that one, bro. I might have to just pull out a Gwitty. Like.
I got the Bryant skis on my team.
Like, bro, like.
Next are dead.
Don't lose a spot. Oh my god.
I'm glad we tuned in for that chat. Vex went ahead and ends up following here. Looks like Alliance is pushing in through the storm here. Oh, actually got freaking way to go. My goodness.
Leave your cover and push into that. You can see LCDF inside the IMC armory. Alliance still crafting. We know that Fire Beavers, they land in Cenote Caves, and as these rings start to pull further north for them, they have the longest rotations, and with that edge-heavy playstyle, they're going to kind of not have to take into account a lot of these early bickering fights in a sense, because they're making their way a little bit later. You saw Alliance still in Lightning Rod crafting, making sure that they are fully kitted to take on the next journey of this map.
I like that plan too. This is the final game of the day, and looking at where Alliance stands in the overall standings, when you're just a few points away from Fire Beavers, you want to try to play this patiently. You know, Fire Beavers are a lot more of an aggressive team in comparison to what we see from Alliance, especially with their legend compositions, but this was going to work into their gameplay. They're going to have their EO shields charged up while they start rotating from the outside of the circle, coming in from the north side too, so they'll have that slight height here. As Ascend now with the Nemesis are looking to be the Grim Griefers, as Nice Wig and Greek like to say.
The Grim Griefers, bro. Anyone with a Nemesis in their hand are griefing everyone. That is such a wicked addition to Season 16, and I was doing some research specifically on like the damage.
Well, fine then. I didn't want to go to that one anyway.
Will have towards that end game.
I could open up Twitch. I got Twitch Turbo, but
4 to 5 bursts from a Nemesis fully hitting to kill someone with a red Evo, dependent on if they're fortified or not. Those are just body shots. That's not taking into account if they're going to hit headshots. You can kill someone essentially with 3 bursts on a level 1 or a level 2 helmet. It's just disgusting.
That's the real problem out here. The real problem is the Nemesis. Let's be honest. And the way that gun just fries you makes my eyes water. KCP, after taking the dub, after coming out on top from that previous fight, are still securing these 3 dome-shaped DBZ buildings. Pioneers are just going to look over at what's happening across the water. There is a team that's right above them.
KCP's in an interesting situation because they know that both teams that are ahead of them in the stands are in the standings are still above them.
Right where we saw Phoenix
but you don't want to risk
fall originally,
overextending and losing your third place positioning either.
From KCP, looking at where they're going to be standing in the overall standings, they're also the top 3 squad right now, sitting in 3rd with 50 points right now. They're right behind Alliance at 56 points. So both Alliance and Pioneers are in a good spot to kind of hold back a little bit, kind of press on the brakes, and after coming out with some KP, they could just wait to see where that next circle is going to pull.
Yeah, and I just think Nasuke, he's got really good zone knowledge, incredibly smart, which is why it was really interesting when they played at Split 1 playoffs, when they brought in Panders, he let Panders IGL. They typically do that and will adapt to their playstyle, but moving back into that role for this season, I think is going to be really good to see. And I'd be curious, they're watching their back, pinging back to the wall, making sure that holding that high ground, no one can kind of rotate in behind them. But Fire Beavers, this is their typical rotation pattern for Stormpoint, right? Coming out of Cenote, hitting that IMC armory near Bean, and then making their way to the north point of Checkpoint. So they've got to figure out where they kind of want to maneuver from this hard on that edge. Still 14 squads remaining though.
Yeah, you can tell the other squads that are trying to play more on the edge. Alliance, like we saw earlier, take their time crafting by lightning. Fire Beavers doing the same thing, rotating through Checkpoint right now. Foot, another squad that usually takes their time. Fire Beavers in a good spot, though, to put in some of that extra pressure. 9 Impulse says, you know, I don't even need my Evo shield. You could ping me. It's charging up right behind me in the replicator. See what I could do out here when it comes to griefing you and your shield cells with this rampage that I have in my hands.
Ooh, okay, let's go ahead and note
Nobody
this,
else
right?
currently.
Taskmaster just pinged a weapon supply bin. Now, this is something that was new.
Not like this. Let's go hang on board with the Lions, I guess?
No, there was, when we scanned, there was one team. Yeah. That's fine though. We're just gonna walk out here. We reach literally straight where I'm at. We're walking straight in between the fucking Watson doll and the thing here. Yeah. And we just land one of the nuts. Preferably this one. This one is coexistable, by the way. We cannot bottom. We cannot ultimate bottom this one and just force inside. That is like, I think that's our play. I think so too. I can shield out the door, you know, if someone's on it. Exactly. There's gonna be probably gonna be a catalyst team. You just fucking break everything.
I kind of want to see them pull us off if they're gonna go do that, chat.
Remind me which side of the door is it? Which
on the left side or not? Left side low ground in the open.
Right here? Okay.
Left side low ground in the open. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. No, not left side. It's towards the north pad. Doors, yeah, on your ping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you meant left side. Like, yeah.
Left side.
Whatever.
Just remember, guys, when we land, I need both of you watching
the other left side
in the open here for me while I break the door.
Okay.
All right, 2 minutes to kill.
All right.
We can also. Do you want to go early?
So if
no, we don't go early. We can fly far, by the way. We can fly far and then swirl back and do a little bit of bait, you know?
Okay.
Because there's a team inside wall. They have to do something, right? They're probably just gonna drop down on one of us.
Some place to land because a skyward dive with 14
back on board
squads
the main
left in
broadcast
the circle
chat.
is very scary. Wouldn't be surprised if this bunker area is already taken. Time to peek. Oh, there's a Watson fence, but nobody to guard it. Okay, we take those. We take that real estate here, and you see the death boxes right at their feet too. So nobody's
like right in the middle too. I wonder if they're up.
Restabilize.
Yeah, right up above them. That was probably where Ascend was.
Needs to find some loot. I saw about 40 rounds of ammo in his alternator and not a lot of attachments available to them. So if they take a fight, it needs to be quick and strategic and not drawn out because they're going to have time to loot up and take that next engagement. And as we're getting down to where the zone is starting to encompass a lot of these teams, they're not going to have the ability to make.
Jump on board with Nasky here. Oh, they're just shooting far off in the distance here.
Fuck. I just shot a bunch of bullets, and I don't need to reload.
I have a feeling someone's going to Valcott in the next 10 seconds.
Anything that they can,
For
knowing
esports.
that if they do go through, this is what they need. Taylor taking immense damage, focus of attention going out and trying to get an opening knock. Clemmy down, Feko down as well, and now they just need to find one more member of the Heroes roster, but getting incredibly low themselves. It can be a very challenging environment.
Crazy right now. All this fight's happening on the outside of the circle. So far out. Remember, we talked about Foot Esports being one of the teams to take their time in rotating into that next circle. Usually playing on the outside right now, running into not just one squad, but 2 squads out here too. Beautiful performance here from Foot Esports to make sure that they can take care of that fight just as quick right now. As we can see them just try to restabilize. They got the ultimate accelerator right here too. Morning Stars, after losing out in Sivin, then though they're going to be able to kind of take a draw back. Look at what's happening with the charge rifle. They need to be able to upgrade those evil shields, at least with the charge rifle, since they don't have a replicator to work with.
Yeah, Morning Stars, I mean, they're relegated down to
Anybody else
a
moving?
duo.
Let's actually, it looks like Fire Beavers is moving in here. Where we've got Ascend. And who was that squad that was on the inside and lower that we just saw move in? I don't even remember who that was now. 13 squads though, man. That's a lot of teams left here. Actually, they just call. They called out this attack. I want to see. They end up doing this.
Get inside.
I'm knocked.
Oh shh.
Shield me.
That's KCP, right?
Oh man.
Pretty sure.
Myself.
Yep.
What the fuck?
They're landing. Get ready to fight.
So we're watching on the other side of this fight that just happened.
I need alt excel.
Dropped alt excel.
Heal up the red armors. We need armor swaps on the ground. I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the other team right now. I'm holding for us.
Oh no, that was another team that came in.
I'm healing.
Yeah, you're chilling.
Good fucking kill. Do we have nades? Take nades.
I have an arc.
I'm correct.
See if we have anybody else that's in fighting. No, actually a fight going on the outside here between Foot and...
Adding some seasoning. We all saw Nasky at land when he was talking about let him cook, and now Morning Stars and Foot trying to find some action, but a Bangalore smoke going to be proven difficult, but a Prowler with a Digi-Threat in the hands of Taylor is going to be all the more advantageous. There's nothing like a seer and a cat together.
This is insane with the way that Foot Esports has been able to play this rotation. They've been meeting up with teams every single time they're trying to get through these choke points. Now playing off the other side of the cat wall right now, looking to see if they have an opportunity. SMS on the other side currently, and with the rock also to the other side of Taylor, they can make sure that at least not if the wall isn't enough, they're at least out of the line of sight once it goes down from the other teams that close to the north pad.
Drop me down, drop me. Oh, go out of that door. No, drop it.
I'm needing inside.
Or break that door. I need you to break
Yo,
that door.
Noya Games, thanks for coming in, hitting that sub button,
I
fam.
need you to break that other door.
Hopefully you're having yourself a fantastic Saturday.
I'm gonna go break the door. I need... Bro, Zane, chill for a second.
All right, so they're not actually not going to be taking that fight. So let's jump. Jump back. Ah!
Are you shooting the piercing spikes or
Yo.
are you shooting the player? You're connecting and doing damage, and it can be a little bit
now you're starting to frustrate me.
visual
All right,
cluttery.
put esports out here.
Yeah, it could be a lot to work with here too. You see the thermite grenade also sent down. Dynasty get taken out.
They're gonna be able to finish off this fight. There we go. That's Morning Stars out.
Looking to add Morning Stars to the list.
They're gonna have to worry about their way to rotate in though. They don't have a Valkyrie here.
Nicely played from Foot. Yeah, they have the health advantage, but even with some natural cover with the rocks and the wall, they didn't want to try to overextend exactly for this reason. Here comes a third party now as Bambino
Ain't
tries
no
to
party
move
like
into
a third
position.
party
It's
rolling in.
Infernal. They have the health disadvantage here too, but they got the high ground, and that's what
Nope, not gonna
matters
be
before another team pings them down.
Oh, and Foot might be able to clean this up, and they
That's good.
do.
They just got the
Taylor
advantage
able
of
to
somebody
grab
else
2
shooting in
out of the
on them.
3 members, Maestro falling as well.
Let's jump in. KCP's in a fight.
On us, on us. We have to fight. We have to fight.
On me.
Nasty trying to shoot through the smoke, not able to find anybody.
Guys, I'm blowing up.
Nice shots through the smoke.
Dead. Go inside.
Careful, so.
Popping bat.
Low on me.
Popping a bat.
Help me.
Popping
He's
down.
one. He died.
Nice.
Fucking retards. In
Whoa.
the me, Shane.
My guy.
I'm going
Ain't no sense in being so.
There's a team here.
I know.
Why you gotta be so rude? Why you gotta fool man chew or whatever he says, you know? All right, Fire Beavers coming in.
Давай их подождем, мы им просто не дадим пройти.
А если я нокну сейчас? Я кракнул там. Я ультую.
Fire Beavers might actually take this.
Я ультанул, горит.
Fire Beavers in first place too. They're already in top 5.
Я смотрю.
Вот здесь стоят. Понял.
У меня
Я просто не
стену
пускаю
отдали,
сюда.
слышите, они забирают ХГ. У нас весь спейс засекьюрен. Просто
по-моему, сейчас
смотрите,
выебут.
Да, их выебут. У нас таргет появился, ребят.
У них нокнутый один.
I want to hang on board with Fire Beavers here, chat.
Еще одного нокнул.
Got the revved up rampage.
Я пробую с другого
Running
склада.
a little low on ammo on it though. Let that
У
thing
нас тут зона
fly.
еще что есть. Вот бегает по опене под вас. В опене вот здесь, пацаны, на
Я не
горе.
могу, я смотрю свои 2 таргета, у
можешь?
меня 2 склада дерутся.
Вот здесь, Лев. Дрона сломаем, и этим фраером нечем. Все, сломал.
Окей, Лёва, справа 2 склада.
Вот здесь, Лев, сольник. Вот здесь. Топ-4 можешь засекьюрить нам.
Где еще раз метку?
Вот здесь.
Я сейчас камнем
За
дам.
камешком этим.
Вижу. Вот он.
Кракнул. Бля, почти кракнул. Ватсон вот здесь сетапит, все.
Убили его.
Alright, fifth circle's about to start closing here.
Валькуются тут. Будут валькуются,
У
Лёва,
меня
может,
зона,
время?
слышите? У нас тут зона чуть что
Top 4 here now for Fire Beavers. That should pretty well
У нас зона
solidify them.
охуенная, чуть что.
Да.
Their session win, even if they don't have that much KP here.
Я лечу к тебе.
Развернулись. Смотри, Лёва.
A team that's Valgold is getting away from them, which means they've got plenty of space on the southern side of the circle still.
Прогони, Лёва, лево.
They've still got the one team over here by
Можем фул посмотреть, Лео?
Убил.
the lift that they have to worry about.
Они вон на метке.
Top 3 here now.
Давайте не мешать.
Я ближе чуть подойду, слышите? Чуть ближе
Давай, я
подойду.
с тобой.
They
Лёва,
can push up to this rock and delay the push and wait for the engagement here.
Ага, я вот это
Смотрите мне право, не пускайте их, окей?
Да.
Yeah, because those two teams, the last 2 teams are going to start fighting here, and Fire Beavers comes in for the cleanup.
Ковиков нету.
Ульчарж есть?
You see they're waiting?
Крипто 46.
У нас справа двойка.
По-моему, право кнопнули. Не добили.
И слева нокнули, справа и слева нокнули, ребят.
Сейчас Яга пропадет, в опене стоят.
Стреляй в опене, мы тут с Кирюхой.
Fire Beavers going to rotate to the left here. Good swing.
Я пытаюсь адрес отменить.
Impulse doesn't want to overcommit here, so he's playing this smart. He's going to be able to get back to his teammates here.
Хились. Я просто стараюсь, чтобы левая.
Playing very patient. This is really smart.
У нас тут зона, ребят. У нас годспот на метке.
Правых. Нам левые нахуй не нужны, надо правых сейчас закрыть.
Да, все, не смотри правых тогда. Свят, я могу один.
Here we go, Fire Beavers.
Нокнул.
Где?
Слева?
One second, buddy, please.
Свят, сыграй с ним.
Да, играю с тобой, Лева.
Добил крипту.
Слева стольник, справа тройка.
Last fight here, they've gotten themselves a little bit of room here on the cannon here, but they got to move forward. There's still 2 teams left. I think they've been able to get the player up on the left side too. That's actually a send out. They just need to mob up on this rock here now.
Убиваем этого. Убили, я хилю.
There it is. This is an easy swing here for Impulse. Easy angle.
Ультую.
Давай.
Able to hide out in the smoke. So smart.
Одна ног.
Oh! He's just better.
Это наша.
Insane.
Ёбаный рот, не ваша игра.
Ой, бля. Level Cup нахуй какой-то или что?
Level 1.
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go, guys.
Smack that.
There you go, enjoy some dinner with mom and her friends.
Smack that.
Give me some more.
Smack that.
Оу. Ебать мы 82 поинта нафармили. 13, 18, 12 кило.
А сейчас сколько кило сделали?
Сейчас мы сделали 7.
Behave for me,
Почти
okay?
так мало.
Take care, mama. After her. High five. Up.
Так, ну что, подмуты посмотрим наконец-то уже «Люби меня» Филипп Моррис?
Сейчас замучу.
Что придумал? Ты мутить будешь или офать?
Да я сейчас думаю, наверное, офать.
А я бы еще, наверное, посидел, поболтал. Давайте, может, через час тогда соберемся обсудить.
All right, chat. That's gonna wrap that up.
I had hope that maybe we would see Alliance, KCP.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and
in that final circle for it.
I'm gonna go ahead and log off early. Y'all want to watch like the final interview and stuff?
A lot of their play, we watched it a lot. They kind.
No, NA still. But instead of like waiting until the end and then I'd only have about 30 minutes of not in front of my lights, since I was also live for South America, I'm gonna turn these things off for an hour, take a little bit of a break. All right. And then we'll be back live over here, probably about 5:30, 5:40-ish, somewhere in that range. And we'll run it back for NA, baby. All right, man. Really appreciate everyone coming in, hanging out for EMEA. Like I said, I'll be back here in about an hour for NA. Appreciate y'all, man. If y'all looking for a cool place to hang out outside of stream, hop up in the Discord. Otherwise, man, we'll catch y'all back over here later. Until we catch y'all back over here, whether it's later for a watch party, the next video, or whatever, man, don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love hard. All right, y'all? It's your boy Q.